Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, everybody. How you doing today? We got a full stack today, and we're starting relatively on time. How about that? Ah, what a bomb for the soul. So,
Dreams do come true, you know?
they do indeed. Welcome
True.
welcome back to. Just to make sure that this is all in order. Okay. That's correct. This should be correct. Yes, indeed. Refresh that. Excuse me while I refresh my browser because. So, last we left off, the group had just gotten their laurels. Basically, they had been thanked by the crown itself of Lorbus for their valiant deeds on behalf of the kingdom. A tribute was paid to the dragon that fell and that had to be slain in order to preserve the life of the nation. They were introduced to a new party member who will be with them for a small time. More or less, they've been requested to escort her across the ocean to Mordan, where they already intend to go. And transport has been arranged for them by the crown itself as well. A brand new steamer ship, the SS Marianne, which is set to depart. It's equipped with all forms of luxury. It's equipped with a prototype steam-driven paddle boat engine. It promises to be a very smooth, very leisurely ride. It will take a couple of weeks, even with the revolutionary engine on the ship. So there's no getting around the fact that the travel will still take some time, but still, it promises to be quicker than your average sailboat, easier to steer, and is also meant to be a luxury liner and will be short none of the amenities that a VIP might expect. Seeing as all the services you guys have rendered for the kingdom, you have your own VIP cabin and suite and have access to all the facilities and have been offered a tour of the boat. As you all embark upon the vessel, racing atop it, last I remember. Okay. Second. Diamond. Okay. I'm going to play a little something for your guys' benefit. I hope you guys will appreciate this being for your benefit. And if it ever drives you insane at some point, just let me know. But let's just thank God for royalty-free music.
I thought you were gonna be like
That's
an
a bit
AI
loud.
cover. I thought it was gonna be like an AI cover of Flick just singing like random songs.
Oh my god.
Mr. Krabs AI cover of
That may be a bit loud.
Love Tonight.
No.
Okay, bring that music volume down.
Are you putting music on Roll20 or on?
On Roll20,
something
yes.
else?
Also, I probably think that on the stream then that might be a tad loud. There's something about me editing it on the Roll20 site is not doing anything.
Yeah, I'll say I'm not hearing anything on Roll20. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
See,
It was only
Sky-
playing on my end of things. There we go.
This is a
I know such no technical difficulties.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, this is acceptable.
You know what? Yeah.
Oh my god.
I would like to mention.
I'm now
this
imagining
point for
I'm now
people
imagining
that- When you
a
click on
simple
the cog,
a simple path 16-bit RPG.
That would be
when you
cool as
click on
hell.
the cog in the top right and go to audio and video, you yourself can lower the volume of the soundtrack being played.
Yes, there's an
Question,
option
will it be
under
higher?
audio and visual
Oh.
to lower the master music at volume.
That
Question,
was
can
for
I make it
yourself.
louder? Damn.
I mean, if you want to turn it up, that's always an option.
I mean, I would never.
Why is it doubled?
Wait, why is it what?
For some reason it's doubled on my end. Oh, it's because I have 2 instances of the Roll20 open, that's why.
Can't believe you started torturing yourself, dude.
Well, not just myself,
We're
the
gonna-
listeners
We're
too.
gonna start.
To this us
We're
too,
playing
yeah.
2 games at once.
Well, that's the thing. I have one version open. One is in GM mode, one is in player mode.
Oh.
The player mode is the one I show the listeners, and the GM one is the one I keep open for editing things and changing and running the game.
Speaking of audio, we are also audible, right? On the
Yes,
show?
you are. Should
Hey,
be.
please, everyone, take your attention to Simple Path chat real quick.
All right. Today we'll be playing
Okay.
Simple Path on the. Today we'll be playing Simple Path on the Super Nintendo.
Today we're going to the Grand Exchange.
Yep.
I love this. I love this kid.
Simple Path, but it's RuneScape.
This was a mistake, by the way. If you know this, Mr. DM.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try to have it not playing on the fucking stream side because I can't do that without fucking killing the audio. Maybe I can. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see.
Somehow seeing the RuneScape guy doing the Orange Justice just hits different.
Yeah.
Oh, kill him. Oh,
Media
Good.
source. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
I've been muted. I did not know this. Does this music make you happy, Rami?
Oh, very. It puts a
I'm
it
happy.
puts a little it puts a little dither in my heart. Let's see.
Is this the music that plays in your mind every day as you go off to do your?
No, not quite. But it makes me happy.
That's good.
That should be the case.
Pathfinder music's to disassociate to.
Hmm. Okay. File loop. Sea shanty.
Is that actually gonna be real? I'm getting weird Steamboat Willie vibes.
We can mention that on the stream without being DMCA.
Oh, shit, we can, yeah. Yes. Fuck you, Disney. No, I didn't say the other name. I said Disney, not.
The F word.
Yep, fuck it. Where's the Orange Justice guy? There we go. I'm gonna download that.
Okay. I'm scared.
Let's save image as RuneScape dance.gif, and it's a GIF. Fuck you, guy who invented the GIF.
Ah, yes, my favorite hippo.
Look at him go. Oh, kill them. Oh.
Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. whack that guy up in the corner just for atmosphere. Throw on the sea shanty. Turn down that volume. Just have that playing in the background. There we go. Rough and ready, slipshod attempt at setting some atmosphere. God, I am not a professional. Alright, so, time for a boat trip. Nothing bad ever happens on a boat. So, last you guys left off,
Or fiddle my dee.
fiddle your timbers. Wait,
Is
what?
that a glacier in the distance? Is that an iceberg?
Yeah, it's too far
no.
south for glaciers. Wait. Anyway, so last you guys left off, you got on the boat. Big, jovial, round man with a big handlebar mustache finely waxed greeted you all with a, "Oh, well, you must all be the men and women that our dear king spoke so highly of. Please, board the vessel. Welcome to my lovely lady, the SS Marianne. And if any of you would like a tour among our state-of-the-art vessel, or perhaps be shown to your accommodations, please only ask myself or one of the porters."
Don't think I've been in a steamboat myself.
Well, I should hope not. It's first of its kind. Well, of course, unless you compare it to one of those crafts made by the dwarves, but they don't. They haven't quite pioneered that technology just yet.
I
You
swear.
know, I feel like I'd figured you'd be familiar with this sort of thing, but since this is a different kind of ship, it seems that this is a new experience for all of us.
Well, like you said, it's
Var-
first of its kind.
In the distance, Varg longingly stares out at the sea. Then he
Meh.
knocks on the railing of the boat.
Yep. Metal reinforced. Sorry, wood that's being reinforced with metal. There's plating that curves over. It's finely worked, perfectly fit to the wood. And as you give it a, it gives a slight clang along with that solid feedback of hardwood.
This is not steam.
Oh, my lad, I
What
think you will
is the boat?
misunderstand. The boat is not made of steam. The boat is driven by it. If you would like to have a look at the engine, I'd be very happy to show you down. It's a pride and joy of the vessel.
Yes, I would be delighted.
Excellent. Would anybody else like to join us for a trip down to the engine room?
So,
Hey,
I
What's
would
up,
like
Ganda?
to.
yes.
Most excellent. Well, if you would be so kind, please follow after me. I'll give you a tour of our beloved vessel before we set off. Of course, all of your bags, if you wish, you may set them down and have the porters bring them to your rooms.
Actually, Alba would still clutch to her suitcase.
The backpack stays on during the exploration.
Uh-huh.
Or handy haversack, technically, but still.
It's a backpack.
Stop.
Oh, well then. Assuming anybody who is comfortable doing so, aside from the stated exceptions, the porters will happily take your luggage to your rooms, where you will be then directed to later. But for now, the captain he gives a sharp little clack of his well-polished heel across the deck of the boat, and gestures you all to follow him towards a porthole door, a swinging door with a looking porthole fixed in the upper part of it. Swings open with a creak, and he descends down a set of narrow stairways that clink with every boot clack across it. Notice that he is leading you towards the back half of the ship.
When was this vessel made?
Well, it was commissioned starting. What was the vessel made not too long ago? It was started commissioning and building approximately 6 months ago. The actual engine was in development for something approximately 8 years at this point, and only been finalized about around the same point of the vessel was first being constructed. It was commissioned in conjunction with the finishing of the patent.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot my character for a second. Can I look at the engine? What do I need to roll to
Well,
really
you're not in
think
the
we
engine
can get
just
this
yet.
thing? Ah. Oops.
It brings you down, and as you descend down the staircase, it is a little bit claustrophobic down here. It's obviously not meant to be as pretty as perhaps the rest of the boat is intended to be. Here, it's starkly utilitarian. Everything is skeletal steel frameworks, and it gets hotter and more humid as you descend, and the distinct smell of coal smoke and soot as you descend further and further into the bowels of the ship. He leads you down a circular, tight, with a spiral stairwell across a catwalk, and here it's getting warmer and warmer. And as you get to the back of the what was perhaps a bit darker of an area, shut in with fewer lights, takes on an orange and red glow that fills the room as you open up into a loud, roaring, back cavernous compartment in the ship. Here you can see, as you stand on a metallic catwalk that hangs high over 3 sets of spinning paddle wheels. Attached to each wheel is what looks to be a roaring contraption of some sort, where men shovel black coal into it, and fires billow out of the grating that they then shut closed. Heat effuses the room. The smell of tar and smoke likewise hangs in the air, and this whole compartment thrums and beats like a heart as the flames stoke higher and higher, and you hear the sound of metal creaking and water boiling as it gurgles through the pipes and builds pressure, the sound of steam being vented somewhere off far down the way, and a high-pitched whistle and almost a cry of a sort adds to the din and cacophony that fills this back compartment. Now, if you would wish to analyze this engine, that would be, I would think, knowledge engineering.
Yippee! I have a bunch of random knowledge skills.
Oh! Slay.
Oh,
Very nice. Nat 20 from Chico for a total of a 29.
I like.
starting
I
off
like.
strong today.
Might as well. I'm not. I don't make them, but I might as well take a gander at it, right?
Well, Chico, without getting in there and actually like having a look at the part itself, there's only so much you can determine about it. But from a glance up here, what you can tell, and from what he described, the way that this place is driven by steam, and how that engine seems to work, it's a fairly simple, if not always perfectly executable issue or a technique. Largely, the big issue behind an idea like this is size, really, and portability and safety. But what this is, from what it looks like, is an engine or a method of drive that is derived from water pressure, primarily from firing coal. Water is then kept in a some sort of metallic chamber, from the looks of things, where it's heated up. It then turns the steam, shoots through the pipes, and the pressure drives whatever it is they're using to keep those wheels spinning.
I gotta understand steam dynamics,
They also
or at least
seem
maybe.
to have some method for which to vent the steam so that the wheels do not immediately start spinning before they're actually ready to take off out of port. There's not just coal firing, there's also regulatory systems here. I probably got quite a lot of the crew down here that would normally be worried about things like the mizzen mast and controlling the sails and other such things instead down here, firing these engines and making sure things here don't explode. Because that is definitely one of the biggest safety concerns with something like this, is when you contain a rapidly expanding material inside of a fixed and shut, like a self-contained system, is the issue of combustion, fire, and explosions. Again, another issue that be as another compounding issue, having a sturdy enough vessel, thus the use of steel, which is heavy. But on a big boat like this, it works just fine. Likewise, because a lot of the boat is made of metal, even if the fire breaks out, it's not necessarily a death sentence. So yes, also Grim, welcome in. Thank you for the self-care. You're back. You're here for the sea shanty episode.
The sea shanty episode.
I'm just imagining a cat breakdancing on deck right now.
If anybody
That's
tunes
what-
into the stream right now, they'll see exactly what I've got going. It's the height of entertainment. But yes, so you guys have been given a glimpse into the inner workings, the bowels of this big old boat. Anything else? As the captain faces you all, and after giving you a basic rundown of how the ship's engine works. No, this is hardly the most charming first stop on the boat, though it is definitely a point of pride. Is there anywhere else you would like to look? We have lounges. We have ensuite bathrooms. We even have a suite prepared for all of you. You would like to have a look at the buffet lounge, though food is not quite being served just yet. After all, we have not even set out of port. Perhaps you would like to rest within your cabins for a bit until we set sail.
A tour of the recreational. I don't know if recreational is the right term, but you know, the buffet and sleeping quarters would be nice.
Excellent, most certainly.
Look at this point, he's sticking you're in one of his ears and kind of twist it back and forth and just kind of offhandedly comments, "Jeez, pretty bloody loud. I take it that's the steam."
Sorry, can you speak up?
How you hear yourselves thinking here?
Rather loudly, I must say.
Right, kind of figured.
Perhaps we'd like to talk
Yes,
somewhere a bit quieter.
Yes, probably good, very good idea actually.
Right then, up deck.
Appreciate it.
And then he starts walking back up the stairway.
Further.
So yes,
Why are they shouting?
because they are trying to shout over the incredibly loud steam engines.
Oh, I'm sorry, this was in character.
In character, yes, you
Why,
say,
like-
why are they shouting in your normal tone of voice, and it's lost under the din of the engines.
Why are they shouting?
Completely drowned out.
Yes. He does lead you back up the stairs, and as you go, it gets cooler. It gets darker, it gets quieter, until eventually you're all back on the primary deck, and now with just a slight case of tinnitus.
Again, Flick kind of twisting a finger in one of his ears.
What? You guys don't have tinnitus?
He
What?
Chico with a chronic case of tinnitus.
Chico used her tails to like pluck her ears.
Yeah. Well, these do have uses. This kind of there cosmetically. Yeah.
Yeah. So he back on the deck. This time though, with a slight ringing in your ears, and perhaps talking just a bit louder than is normally considered polite volume, but entirely without any form of intent. The captain now strides along. He brushes off his captain's coat, resets his flat cap, and makes his way towards the other end of the boat, where there's a set of 3 doors, one in the middle, which protrudes out slightly, and then two off to one off to either side of that primary door. He walks up towards it. Now then, this middle door you'll find goes upstairs. That's up to my, that's up to the wheelhouse and the chart room. That's where my functions are fulfilled. If at any time you have any questions or you require anything and one of my crew are not available, and of course, accepting that we are not in crisis, that should never happen. Please visit me there, and I'll be happy to avail you. On either side to the right comes down to the crew's quarters, and on the left goes down into the it goes down to your cabins and to other passenger cabins. As he then breaks left, opens the door, and holds it open as he steps inside. After me. Watch your step, by the way. The floors here are carpeted, so it may be a bit different from upstairs.
Step, step, step.
Step, step, step. RPG stair noise. As you transfer first onto a set of just barren wooden stairs, but then as you go down the first half the flight, changes to red carpeting. It's not exactly pillowy or plush under your shoes. It's still rather thin, but that's by necessity, as the carpet there is more for grip. It is red with a yellow trim along the sides, perhaps edging on gold, but not quite there. The walls of the down here, as it is a proper hallway with enough room to stretch your arms out to either side, as opposed to in the engine room where you had to kind of hug your arms to yourself. There are posters here advertising various functions that will happen aboard the boat, including other things advertised for events happening in the Quadranon at the moment. Most importantly, quite a few for what is happening in Lorbus. One that stands out is naturally one announcing the newly dubbed holiday that is set to happen within Lorbus every year from this point on. There's other things there's posters and there's plaques detailing paying tribute to people who helped to donate and fund the creation of the boat. Others talking about various factoids about the ship itself, about the Marianne. Others displaying some tidbits and random facts about crewmates and life on the ocean. Some about things like wildlife and what to look for in the night sky. There's one poster that details a basic layout of some of the constellations you can expect to see on the route to and from Mordan, that kind of thing. And he leads you down a hallway that does at one point split off left, but he keeps going forward until eventually at the very end, past a few doors, it opens, and it opens out into a very nicely appointed lounge. Door swings open. The carpeting here is much thicker and much softer. To the right, looks to be a bar with several kegs of something up on the wall, including as well as a rack of bottles. On the left, look to be several tables, which could be used for both eating as well as what looks to be some form of perhaps gambling. And further back are large booths of plush seating set into the back side of the room, with large round tables that the seating conforms around to create a comfy little nook where anybody could take a seat and avail themselves of the buffet station not far away, or any of the drinks from the bar. The walls are affixed with paraphernalia, which, if the plaques are to be believed, come from various different vessels from throughout time, including what looks to be an anchor that's supposedly from one of the first boats ever commissioned and christened under the Lorbinian monarchy. The captain steps inside and gestures around with wide open hands. He says, "This is the lounge room for all of our honored guests here aboard the ship. You may make use of it at any time. And because you are very important people, you may request drinks and food without reservation. Any questions?
Appreciate it, mate.
Of course, you are you are honored guests not only of the ship, but of the king and of the kingdom. And as such, you will be treated. No expense will be spared.
It's very kind of you.
Oh no,
What's up?
you needn't thank me or praise me. It is all by order and by grace of the king. I am simply a functionary of his.
I assume
still-
that this privilege is only active for this trip.
Why that should be the case? You are friends of the kingdom. The king has made it very clear that you are to always be treated with the utmost respect. I don't think that should only extend to one voyage.
That's a good
Gratitude
point.
does not end with a single thing. Well, shouldn't, at least.
Mm.
Yes,
Where
especially
do
if you are
you-
aboard my vessel, you will always be treated. You always be treated like royalty. Well, perhaps not quite like royalty.
Varg takes out his notebook and his pen. Where do you plan to sail for the next 12 years?
Ah, yes, shrewd customer. I see. Well, for the next 12 years, I can't quite give you an exact timeline. The intention of this steamer is to bridge the gap between ourselves and several of the other more established and civilized nations. That includes Mordan and, on occasion, some of the more privileged ports, such as in. He's trying to think. There's Koligo. There's Gorgolane, Labinia. We most certainly intend to take a couple of stops at Lodelia. I have to yet plot with the. Well, I have to yet consult the council on whether or not Haven would be a wise stop. Though I have more than a few sailors who are very urgently pleading that they be allowed to lay port there at some point. But I'm afraid that if we get off the boat and look away, he'll be gone before we look back.
Tyrian's gonna speak up and go, like, kind of tucking her hair behind her ear. You know, I heard that Firegrove Valley is very good this time of year. Do you have any intentions of stopping by
Firegrove
there?
Valley. I wasn't aware Firegrove Valley had a port, young girl. That's a wonderful joke.
Well, any plot of land can be visited by a ship if there was connecting water.
Oh,
I'm sure.
I'm very sure, Blast. But unfortunately, it seems you have the wrong of it. Firegrove Valley doesn't have water; it has fire.
Well, yes, but I mean the continent that it resides on.
Well,
Is
that's
surrounded by
perhaps
water.
another. That's perhaps another matter. But unfortunately, the papacy is not necessarily on the best of terms with Vlodidovsky, and that is perhaps the only place with a fort that a port that is close enough and might qualify. That is perhaps the closest we could ever sail there, and even then, that would be whether or not we'd want to sail there at all. Vlodidovsky does not exactly welcome outsiders with the widest of arms, and then you would have to pass through there, and all the hills, and then into Firegrove Valley, which, if I must remind you, is perpetually on fire. Why, might I ask, are you so inquisitive about this potential trip? It seems a bit much for insistence.
No, no, we are not.
Personal
You
matters.
know, real estate.
Real estate.
Yes.
You're looking to
you know,
invest in land in Firegrove Valley.
I mean, I'm always looking for a summer home, some place warm.
The captain, without any actual cynicism or condescension, he puts a hand atop his chest, takes a long breath out, and gives you with a broad smile underneath his bushy mustache. Says, "If I ever doubted that eccentrics gathered eccentrics, then I need only look at your relationship with the king."
Varg takes a walk.
He takes a walk. Okay. Just
Flick,
breaks
Flick,
off and
Flick just Flick
Varg turns
just
around,
mutters.
walks out.
Flick just mutters too.
Varg turns around, walks out the door for the lounge, and just walks down the hall.
Flick just mutters to the others, "You hear that? We're eccentric."
Doing like Siren's questioning, Alba like pointedly looked up again, you know, eyes on focus, but eye symbol on her. And the biggest frown on her face. She's like, what are you... She's not saying it right, but her face is screaming, what are you talking about?
Don't lump me in with these weirdos. I'm just here on travel.
I'm just a kid.
My life is a night. Anyway, well, we're here. We're here. We're be happy. It's shanty time. As the king spots Vark as he goes. It seems to. He looks. If you're looking for the lavatory, young man, you need only go around the corner to the right. Otherwise, I'm sure you can find your way. This is not exactly it's not exactly a hard vessel to navigate.
I simply wish to explore the
Then I bid you have fun.
passages towards the flyers imposed on the wall.
Well, I bid you enjoy yourself then. For those of you who wish to continue the tour or have any other further questions, please stick by me. Anything else? Anybody? Any further inquiries or any other, if perhaps questions about our future travel plans?
I guess,
Mark turns around again, comes back.
out of character. Where are we going right now?
Mort.
Mordon. Okay.
Oh yes, as for where we intend to be in, what ports we intend to be in the future, it could be anywhere. A steamliner can go quite a few places that a normal sail vessel could not. After all, a paddle vessel can navigate the Mirror Sea with greater efficacy than a sailing vessel could. Mirror Sea, of course, for those who do not know, is a windless ocean that borders on much of this area here. We will be skirting past it as we head north. Most vessels try to keep as far off of it as they can. Any sailing vessels that end up on it are at the whims of the tides, and the Mirror Sea is almost perfectly still. This new technology enables us to make crossing the ocean with far greater reliability. As such, we've also been in talks with landing in places on the Titan's Arm Peninsula. That, of course, it still needs to be secured with diplomatic ties. We cannot simply land on foreign soil and say that it is a vacation trip. Especially not one of the premier ships from a given nation. We are not privately owned.
Any plans on stopping by Woe Tide? Or is that outside of your...
Unfortunately, I do believe as much as this vessel might be able to navigate the harsh currents of the Death Strait, Woe Tide is a bit off of our ledger in terms of where we intend to be, primarily because we do not wish to lose this vessel any sooner than we absolutely must. For the same reservations we have for landing in Haven, only perhaps amplified. At least in Haven, they attempt to put on a veneer of civility. I suppose, not to presume, but given you seem to be of a more hardened sort, you have perhaps some experience being a Woe Tide. I can spot a man of the ocean.
Quite a bit. Yeah, looking at a privateer, mate.
I see. Well, from one salty dog to another, welcome aboard.
Appreciate it.
If you follow me, I'll show you to the lavatories, as well as to the bathing area. We do have a small public bath for use, as well as for the VIP cabins. There are ensuite bathrooms with bathtubs. Heated water is available on the through noon to early evening. If at some point you should need a bath after or before that point, you must inquire with the boiler room on whether or not they can get that sorted out for you. Fresh water is, after all, in short supply. Limited, at least. Thankfully, With the combination of magic to go with our technology, such issues are ameliorated. As he steps back out of the lounge, leading you back down the hallway, he gestures towards several of the VIP cabins off to his left, takes a sharp turn around right, past some walls that run down the some pipes that run down the wall that gurgle and seem clammy to the touch. Now this area is to the leisure room. There you'll find such things as a pool table, dartboards, a larger bar to serve you, as well as a performance stage where we sometimes have bards and other performances lined up for those who wish to while away the afternoon and the evenings well into the night. There'll be libations on offer from during most parts of the evening and night, before we then shut up and then move to sleeping hours.
Damn, I don't like this. This is a little too real.
What is that?
I was-
The
I
idea
was
of a
making a
curfew.
joke. Yeah, it's a little too real.
We must always keep the well-being and the timeliness of our workers in mind. After all, with that aside, I will lead you all to your accommodations. As he takes one more right, props open a set of double swinging doors that lead into a wide open room, richly appointed. At the far wall is a huge circular bed, many throw cushions, blankets laid out atop it. There's smaller beds off to the side. What looks to be two very plush-looking couches, even what looks to be a dog bed with two very fuzzy, almost sheep-like, perhaps even made with sheep wool cushions. The walls are adorned with all kinds of things, one of which is a large painting just behind the bed, and a window leading out, giving a nice big view of the open ocean. Now, this is where you will be staying. If you wish to have separate accommodations, you need only ask. Though we must, if you want to do so, I would suggest doing so sooner, as we must also organize that with the other passengers if we must displace them. That aside, you will gesture into the corner where, for those of you who gave up your luggage upon getting here, it will be there, piled in the corner. Your baggage is there. This is this is where you will be staying for the couple of weeks you'll be with us. We hope you will enjoy your time with us. Thank you very much. Any final questions? Wonderful.
I don't know if this was discussed. If it was, then disregard the question in character, but she'd go, what are the times that breakfast, lunch, and dinner are served?
Well, breakfast is mealtime is dependent on crew and passenger. For the crew, it's always served relatively early. The passengers, you can expect breakfast to be on offer from around shortly after sunup. I would say for those of you who have the privilege of having a pocket watch on you, sometime around perhaps 8 in the morning will be when we begin, and then that will transition into a light lunch, and then dinner will be offered just before sundown.
All right.
Generally speaking, we go by the movement of the sun to keep things relatively simple, so regular.
Very good.
Kind of smart.
Now then, if that will be all, you can always find me up in the wheelhouse, if not in my quarters myself. Again, if you ever need anything, need only hail one of the crew or find me in my office. I bid you all a wonderful us. As you will then step out of your cabin, and you will hear his boots clacking along more clomping along the carpet on the hallway.
So I missed this bit. I apologize. I was quickly taking care of the Doge. But the accommodations for the party then, is it like your typical ship accommodations with like bunk beds?
Oh no,
Like all one room?
no. There's a very large circular bed at the far back of the room. There's several smaller, but still very nice-looking beds with clean linens and large duvet and pillows. Off to the left, up against the wall, under a big window, and there's even a couple of very plush-looking couches and a very fluffy dog bed. So it's definitely not the typical ship bunk bed arrangement.
Is there a dog in the dog bed?
No, there is not.
There
Can we
will be a
use it for
Vair in
the-
the dog bed.
Perhaps
Oh,
Like the capybaras.
them too. Perhaps.
cappies or the birds?
Hmm.
The fucking.
Yeah, those are.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
we-
yeah.
we
yeah,
have a fucking
actually,
zoo, don't we?
The
Wait, now is an opportunity.
oh,
We
oh.
toss them overboard. Oh my
along
god,
with-
genius.
I just remember, along with the luggage are the two bird cages with the two birds in them.
Okay.
As you are left in the cabin alone, the two birds orient on the party, face you all, and then in unison go, "Hello."
Okay,
No.
this is a
Can I,
genuine
can I,
question.
can I hold on.
Um,
Can I just put the visual that they're standing like on the floor of the cage, looking, doing whatever they're doing. Then once everyone piles in, slowly turn, not even like twisting or turning, just slide, turning towards everyone, and make that.
Yeah, like a source filmmaker asset.
Yeah, this turn the page without even
The
without
grinding
even.
noise as they turn.
Yeah.
you know, but genuine question: since the capybaras have been proven to be made of water, if we were to just drop them in the water, what would happen? Would they just keep up with the boat? Would they become water again, or would they just drown?
Return the cappies to the sea.
Return.
You didn't
the
recognize the
cat.
cappies in the water.
Would they show up on shore? Like, just when we're done, would they just follow the ship?
Those
It's
are
yeah,
all
the
questions.
Titanic.
Like,
Bobby says.
Let's go. Like the cappies can swim pretty good. I mean, I suppose that's fair.
These are all good questions.
Varg waits for the footsteps to fade from earshot, and waits for the birds to have done their thing,
Hello.
and then he goes. And now my mission is complete.
Being? What was your mission?
Having committed a crime and being wanted in a country, I have stowed away on a vessel to leave.
You,
Before I
Weren't you-
believe We've already gotten you cleared of that crime.
yes.
It is best if you do not associate with me. I am a criminal.
Vair
Ah,
Now,
trots
Okay,
over. Vair,
Don't even.
Vair trots over to the dog bed, stands in it, turns around in a circle a couple of times, and then slumps down into it and says, "Vark's trying to tell a joke again."
Ah, yes, I see. This is one of
Oh.
those ones.
that's
thank
a
you
good
very
one,
much,
Bob.
Leia.
That is very funny.
I enjoyed the
Understood.
joke.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
I have been told that if you explain the joke, it is no longer funny.
Well, there's no need to explain it. Now that we know that it is a joke, it's funny. as she pats Vair on the head like a doge.
What do you do? Ah, yes. Ha ha! Ha! Ah.
Just
See,
keep
Mark,
keeping in
Oh,
mind.
you bastard.
Just going to just mark on Vark's sheet. Perform comedy negative ranks.
See, Mark, I attempted to tell a joke before we left, but I don't believe anyone got it. Perhaps if they explained it, it would have been funnier.
What was the
Barking.
joke?
Mark and Karya comedy duo.
Stand up to
Uh,
it.
Let me see. Flick, where are
They
you?
do have
again?
open mic
Flick?
night on the ship.
Oh yeah.
No,
Flick, where are you?
No!
Yeah.
Well, now
Oh,
we
yeah.
have to attend.
Yes, Vark, I forgot you were not there. Yes, Flick, come here. And then he steps over and pulls his sword out and puts it in his neck and goes, "How dare you, Flick of the Ear, wearing the
Put
skin
your
of my
blade sword
kid?"
down.
Oh, that is it. That was my joke, as I did not care. I only wished to scare him. And he puts his sword away. Anyways, it seems as though people don't understand my humor.
You threatened harm.
Indeed, but it was done so with jest.
I'm sure Kara's humor is just too intelligent and complicated for us to understand.
So,
Alba awkwardly joins in.
but sorry, what was that? What was that, Alba?
Alba awkwardly joins in, like.
Okay, so
Nervous
three-
laughter.
3 of 8 people are currently doing a Titus Final Fantasy X laugh. And
Alba's like the heavy in Meet the Medic.
ah, yes,
Oh,
nervous laughter.
Holo just looking at all of them now and be like, you guys are so weird.
Yeah, yeah.
we've known that.
Yeah, they are.
Maybe you should reflect.
Anyways.
Maybe
No.
you should reflect.
Well, I guess now that we have some privacy, I guess now would be a good time to tell you all a bit of information I learned from contacting Harry. Remember him, the
Oh, I see.
yes,
Maybe.
the good lich, the who previously the lich who was previously known as evil, now known as not evil. Harry gave me his business card back in Mordon, and I decided to use it now to speak to him about a few things that happened, and he did clear up some confusions. He knows a lot about a lot of things in terms of magical items. Oh, that reminds me. Here you go, Trico. And she pulls out another Harry business card that she asked for at the end of their last conversation. This is for you to contact him in regards to the creation of magical items, since he is such an expert on it. I thought you would want to ask him and learn how to do what he does.
Wait, whose business card was this?
Harry, the good lich?
Oh, right. The Lich. Well,
Yes.
I'm the Dark Lord. I'll take the. Check will take the. What's it called? The business card and, I guess, look at it and then slip it into her, handy haversack.
On the business card on the front face is written Harold Esquire. For all needs magical and consultation on the arcane. If an emergency, Flick.
Yes.
No, not you, Flick.
Not
In
If-
emergency.
if
Go
an
on.
emergency, flip card. Yeah, you should join them in the Colony Knights.
A question. Can I see if this card's magical?
If you were to activate detect magic, it's absolutely magical.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
It's
that
tinged with
flip means
divination.
actually. So yeah, so that flip means literally. So I was gonna look what was on the other side. Like maybe it was like.
Well, yeah, if you flip it over and you look on the other side, it will then say, in case of emergencies, tear a business card.
Oh, okay. I thought it was literally
Michael was
just.
worried that it was gonna just immediately
was
teleport
gonna
her somewhere.
activate.
No,
It
it
was
gonna
flips it
trigger.
over. We call it a rune on the other side activates as soon as it's red.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
so-
scared of.
Imagine a stack
can
of business
see-
cards with exploding runes.
Oh no. That's a lot of grenades.
Yeah, it is.
Anyways, she says, yes, so as you can see on the back, you rip it whenever you want to talk to him. It doesn't have to be now, just whenever you want, if you want. But regardless, what I spoke to him about was in regards to the dragon, one of Karya's relatives that was unfortunately felled, while not in its own state of mind, but rather being controlled. And in regards to what could have possibly happened to my village, it turns out Harry says that he had this client a long time ago that he has reason to believe is responsible for both of those things. Apparently, the dragon that was controlled. I'm gonna get my notes here. The dragon that was controlled, his name is Korax. And in order for such a thing to happen to him in a way that he was being controlled, he was, according to Harry, feeble-minded, most likely, and suffered great deals of pain through something called the Geish, which is the symbol that we saw on its head, the rune. It was receiving pain through that rune if it didn't comply with commands it was given. And because it was feeble-minded, it was pretty much nothing more than a beast, an animal at that point. And for some reason, the person behind that also has a reason to swipe my village off of the current plane of existence and into this little magical item, which is a snow globe. Apparently, my village is in there, and it is in a demi-plane? Demi-plane, right?
Yep.
It's in a demi-plane.
Also, I cannot tell
And
you
this-
how much I had to hold back my laughter when I think a few sessions ago someone suggested that your village was actually in a snow globe somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, someone guessed
someone actually called that, but it was in amidst many other theories being thrown out. But yes,
The name.
but yes, it is a demi-plane. That is the term that was used.
Yeah. And,
What question about the name Korak? Oh, are you done? You're not done, sir. Okay. Go on.
No, go ahead. It's the name came up, so you can ask about it.
Yeah, no. Is there any? How do I put this? Does the name at least ring a bell for Karya as to that? I mean, it's not the only dragon he's seen, but an adult dragon is still of note. The name Korax ring any bells? Any history?
Roll me like either a knowledge local or a knowledge history if you could.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get it on here.
Because it would be either for you.
Oh, it's okay, thank you, Roll20. It signed me out. Would you mind rolling whichever one is better for me, Quest? Yeah, it's not letting me log back into Roll20.
Yeah, either is the same for you. So the question would be, would you do local or would you do history? Because either one, whichever one you decide to go with, so basically what frame of mind you tackle this with determines like the bias of the information.
I think history makes more sense. I can not only glean anything about him, but I could potentially know where he was located. Might be able to point us in a decent direction.
Okay. That is not bad. You rolled a 19 plus 4 for a total of 23.
Haha!
Almost
Outside.
in that
You're not
20.
trained in it. So that comes out to a grand total of 10.
Damn it.
Oh!
This is a damn shame, but still, not bad. Also, hi, Ari. Welcome in.
Hi, Ari.
I
Wait, isn't Vark trained in history?
Yes.
Or someone was. Yeah.
Well, so, like, Vark's trained in many different knowledge types, but this is
Yeah.
Karya. So, Karya,
Yeah.
like, Korax rings a bell, but that's because there were a lot of dragon names that sounded like that. There was, like, Hythorax, Belsorax, Horax. I'm pretty sure that last one was made up. Korax sounds familiar. You're kind of sure that might be short for something. Like, 'cause dragons tend to have longer names than that. How Orthos' name is shorthand for a much longer epithet. Dragons tend to have their long name and then they have their shorthand name. You think that you knew a guy called Korax who was maybe like a functionary of your dad? So like not quite right-hand man, but someone who helped run the network? Or kept the other dragons in line? Nah, can't be. He was too young. Maybe like a second, like a right hand to one of Orthos's right hands, something along those lines. He's kind of like the draconic equivalent, like the draconic mafia equivalent of middle management. You think?
Can I at least potentially remember from? Oh my God, Adelaide.
That-
Sorry. Can I at least potentially remember from what area he hailed from? At the very
Oh,
least.
he hailed from the same area you did.
Okay, so he's still from the same.
He was
place. Yeah, they
born
were all
in,
pretty
it's
close
like
together.
at least as far as you can remember, because you weren't exactly privy to this kind of information. But it's like from what you know, he was a red dragon, which meant he was probably born in that same nest you lived in.
That makes sense. That would track. Well, that doesn't help. In fact, if anything, that makes it more concerning that someone could snatch a red dragon from right out of Orthos' nose and just do their thing.
Oh, that's another thing I should mention, actually. I had that written on my notes, but I think I glossed over it. Now that you said that, I'm reminded of it. Siren continues, she says, and apparently Korax was taken from his home during the whole siege on Orthos, where there was, you know, the attack on his home and attack on Orthos himself to try and bring him down. During that whole chaos, Korax was taken by presumably this person who Harry states he cannot divulge the name of because of client confidentiality, which is bad, but it's fair, I suppose. But he did say that they were someone very influential who constantly goes through disguises, so we'd have to use something other than just appearances to figure out who and where they are.
You said this Harry person is the one that I need to find the person who did that to Orthos' den.
Oh, Harry isn't going to tell you where they are. Harry is the person who this influential person commissioned. Harry is the good lich that I spoke to
If
that had
this-
this information.
If this Harry Lich knows the man of the person that destroyed my home, I wish to thank him.
Oh, well,
Give me the card, Jacob. I must speak with the Harry Lich.
well, hang on. Perhaps you can both speak to him. Maybe if you rip the card together, I don't know. That's something for a future experiment, I guess.
I mean, by all logic, if you rip the card, he will appear here.
Oh, fair, I guess, yeah. That he doesn't really transport you elsewhere. He just appears. I guess we could all talk to him, theoretically.
I doubt now is a good time, but
That was perfectly
I don't
good time. Summon the lich onto the boat. It's fine.
Surely nothing could go wrong there.
Uh,
Also, no, Ari, that's Corvus Korax. That's very different. Then you should be really worried. Yes.
but yeah, Harry and I, we're like besties now. We're best friends.
I'm sorry.
You're precious, sir.
I'm sorry. Oh, but Godspeed to her.
I like to believe that that was in character, and she knew that that was not true. Like,
No, it's in character, and she very much believes that they're like best friends.
no, I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
sure.
I'm talking about
Oh,
Child.
Alba.
Alba. Alba
Alba.
laughs. He's like, oh yeah, you keep thinking about that, you sweet, sweet
Yeah,
woman, because she
sure.
knows that in reality it's not at all.
Yeah. Also, yeah. No. For Alba, Siren has just casually name dropped talking about a lich, a good lich, and how she just kind of had a conversation with one.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine, like Alba sat in front of these weirdest birds that you guys talked about, and probably going back and forth. Hello, 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 hello. But one ear listens, and when the siren drops the thing with the lich, she, like you see, if anyone watches Alba right now, you see her eyes like comedically widen, then there's a little bit of alarm, and I would actually
I'll-
try to see into the future.
Alba turns around and her eyes are as wide as that of the birds.
Oh no.
It's like that Doku image.
Oh, yeah, with like the wall eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What, this one?
Is that slow zoom in?
Oh,
You
Oh.
They left
So,
me with
you're-
very dangerous people.
So, Alba, you're gonna try and glimpse
Good
into the
glitch.
future. You're gonna try and glimpse into the future. Roll me a d20, just for the hell of it.
Of course. Slay.
So a glimpse into. Oh, didn't do that. Pay no attention to the casting couch. That was.
Yeah.
I wonder who did that. Oh my
Nobody.
god.
Nobody whatsoever. Anyway, the your third eye opens fully as you attempt a short-term glimpse into the future. Whose future are you looking into? Your own? Siren's? General?
Assurance, actually, yeah.
As you
Like,
peek-
like she doesn't have a good feeling about her being in contact with this lich that says he's good, and all from the very short time Alba spent, time with this group, she had the feeling that Siren can be a little naive
Mm.
to a degree
Naive,
sometimes.
gullible.
Very naive woman, right? But also a little naive about things. So she's like, oh god, oh.
As
People in the shadow, Dad, please help.
as you turn around, kind of like punch down onto your heels where you are in front of the bird cages, going back and forth with the hoopoe birds, or with the mimicry birds in this case. As you go, hello, 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 and they're going back and forth with each other at this point, even without your input. As you turn around, eyes widening to dinner plates that match the eyes of the birds, and this picture of absurdity. As you turn around, your eyes somehow grow hazier. Siren, you notice as Alba's eyes, they grow milky and opaque as her middle eye on her forehead blazes and opens fully. And all the meanwhile, just behind her are the two birds going, hello, 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 hello. And Alba, you see Siren's futures scatter and fragment into a million possibilities. You've seen this so many times before, and every time it's headache.
Yeah.
But you see it diverge out into different paths. You see the one where she grows tired of the conversation, throws herself down on the bed, and just goes for a nap, frustrated with the others here for whatever reason might have happened in that reality. There's one where she decides to go pet Vair over on the dog bed even further. There's one where, for some reason, she launches herself at Chaiko with something held in her. You think that's a frying pan? There's another where she takes Holo down to the floor in what looks to be almost a moment of passion, but is actually her hands around his throat.
again.
Again. That's
But-
one thing that happens in every reality.
It's a cosmological constant. But
It's non-negotiable.
there's
It's a canon event.
There's one that's more solid that stands out to you. One where it projects forward, and then your mind's eye doesn't just show you these ghostly apparitions of where Siren is in the short term, but brings you along on this journey, the snapshot fast forward into the future, where you see Siren further north. You see her talking with people. You see her facing off against something nasty and vicious. You see someone in pain. You see a snow globe sitting on a desk somewhere. You see the wing beats of shining dragons. You see an angry mountain of fire. And at the very end of it, you see, sat on a park bench, Siren, and a sharp-featured gentleman whose disguise peels away before your divine eye. Show a man bereft of skin, muscle, and blood, simple skeleton in a business suit. And through him, through Siren, you peer onto him. And what you see is complex. You see what previously a look into the future almost threatens to rip you far back into the past. You see darkness, you see pain, you see blood, you see much death. You see a world under an iron boot. You see bony grasp on all life on the planet. You see tyranny. And then regret. And as things swim back together into a more solid future, that regret coalesces back into the skeletal man on the bench, sat next to Siren, having calm, pleasant conversation. And what's laid before you, among all the aspects of this skeletal man, is this hanging aura of regret and, if not atonement, then an attempt at it. And then, as he's sitting there talking to Siren, that same skeletal man goes from looking at her to looking at you. As he peers into your eyes, what should just be empty air, sometime in the future, makes very little sense, but as he meets your gaze, says, now, that's enough spoilers. And then you're back in your body.
Yeah, she kind of
He's-
shakes her
he's
head, looks a
metagaming.
little queen around, around her nose, as she gets up from her like kind of crouched position. Woozy, you actually see her not steady on her feet as she kind of stumbles.
Well, that was definitely
To-
taxing
to-
Rob.
Yeah,
Oh.
to like the biggest bed in the room, just kind of flops onto it. Oh,
Oh, Alva, are you alright?
The child is
Yes,
sleeping.
Oh,
oh, lots of things, lots of things.
it's alright. I'm sure you're very tired. Take a rest. As I slowly pull out my frying pan. No, I'm kidding.
No!
As Holo wields Lolo like a bat.
Alba,
They all
Alba
come
looked
to
in
pass
the
at the same time.
Alba looked in the 13,605 realities.
And
And this
all
is-
of them are real.
As it
and
turns
all
out,
of them
all
are
of them
real, and they're happening right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alba's out of for count.
Oh,
She's
well.
still kind of, her head is kind of leaning over the edge of the bed a little bit, and her eye, the golden eye is on the group, but her normal eyes are all half closed.
So anyway, I figured that was all information that you all want to know, so we can keep an eye out for this mysteriously, randomly disguised, influential person.
I swear if it was that fucking turnip gnome, Rami, that did all of this, I'm gonna kill you.
Hollow, or player behind in the face, previously asked me, behind closed doors, if you guys had ever met the person in question before. I indulged his question. To make it plainly clear, yes, you all have met this person.
We have?
Yes. In passing.
Wait, what for who?
I look at Mallory.
Wouldn't that be the hell of it? But yes.
I'm convinced it's that gnome with the turnip until it's proven otherwise.
My turnips.
Wait a minute.
Is it the
I'm gonna
the
toss my
vampire
hat to
boss?
this ring.
If it's Stanislav, I'm gonna cry anyways.
oh, that would be precious. But yes, speculate all you wish.
DM,
What is it?
DM. my expectations in your DM. I'm joking mostly, but
Wait,
No,
what's,
no.
what is the joke?
I was about to say, watch it be the guy in the mustard cart.
The mustard guy.
Oh,
Do
God.
it.
It was him.
The mustard man.
That would be hilarious.
The mustard man.
Chico is free to share her speculations with the group if she so wishes, though I will flatly say no, that is not a person in my campaign.
damn it.
Wait, huh?
Oh, is
Did
it
you?
Lucy?
Is it Lamusi?
Is it also?
Wait,
Is it
damn.
Alsar?
Is it Iliaster von Gregor III?
Oh God.
Alsar
always
was Alsar was isekai'd after he was killed, and he ended up in the simple peasant.
It's always
No.
been. It was Alsar. Always has been.
Hold on. No, I said the Remy Gibblestomp because I forgot the original name. It was
Gibblestomp?
Lamusi.
Lucy.
I meant Lamusi.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Either way.
Oh, Lamusi's out there. He's definitely part of the campaign. I don't know. Maybe
yeah,
he is the big bad.
Gibblestomp isn't a character I've made yet.
Yep.
Gibblestomp got devolved to Lamusi Grandfather. And Geebles Final Fantasy. So yeah.
I see. Well then,
So yeah, I meant Lamusi. Anyways.
character
Praise
speculation.
be.
Yeah, praise be. Out of character speculation
damn it.
aside, though, Alba is now out for the count, likely with a headache or even a migraine.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just kind of
I want to
Well,
say, I even want to say to be a little edgy, she has like the 11 nosebleed.
ooh,
Oh.
ooh, okay, yeah. Well, after
Because it was too many possibilities, and you know the whole thing with the lich was
Mhm.
was a little too much.
yeah,
for
then
her
got her heart
little
rate up too
brain.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
Alba now, like, who's basically tossed herself onto the big circular bed within the room, is kind of hanging off the side halfways, and as she's lying there, just you see a little bit of blood coming down her lip.
Oh no. I'm gonna pull out like a little rag and like dab it on her face to soak up the blood and to stop the bleeding while she's sleeping.
Oh my goodness, Sierra's a vampire.
Oh good.
What?
Or
That
explain
was
how
not
How
a
did you know?
possibility. I saw.
explains why
That was
she's so
one
chummy with a
possible.
lich.
That was one of the possibilities. Turns out Siren's been a vampire this whole time. That's
Yeah.
goddamn.
Would get a base though.
Pretty good.
So yes, you guys have your accommodations for your trip over. You feel the lurch as the ship begins to pull out of port. The horn sounds of being as the ship pulls out and sets off onto the ocean blue.
Oh yeah, DM. When do you all encounter for on the ocean?
When do you roll encounter? That's a good question.
Space whale.
I would say once a
I
week.
want to meet an old friend. I want to meet an old friend.
Well,
I'm not dealing
Oh,
with
no.
it right now.
Oh god, we're about to
I'm
get
not
a
doing
repeat.
it.
We're about to get a history is about to repeat itself.
Wait, no.
We're gonna run over Labussi's fucking.
Labussi.
Oh my god.
Barrel
We're
overboard.
we're gonna run over his barrel that's just floating endlessly in the ocean.
Exploding in the ocean.
I'm finally
Finally.
free, laddies. I'm
Finally, he get-
free.
Finally, he
Ah,
dies so
kill
that
it,
he can be
kill it.
reborn again.
What the fuck is going on, laddie? Fucking.
They're like there's like two like workers that are fishing right for food for the ship, and they pull up a barrel with Lamusia, and then they're like, ugh, throw it back.
Wait, this smells like some really good booze. Cracks it open. There's a fairy inside. Most of it's gone.
Oh,
Fuck this.
laddies, I
Throw
don't
it
feel.
Tosses it
Laddies, I
over.
don't feel so great in here.
Oh, no. No.
That's
no,
a hell of a way to
no.
float because last we saw him, he was in Haven.
Real
You know, I
quick,
just
start
had a flashback.
Start
Do you remember when Jules just straight up lied to Stillwater when he joined the server and told him that he was like Irish and he used that voice? I just had like a year-long flashback.
God. It's been more than a
Oh,
year.
you're on about the lot.
Yeah, it's been
To be
more
honest,
than-
I thought that accent was Scottish.
Yeah, close enough. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Jokes aside, I actually got this accent from someone who did live in Ireland at some point. A family friend, some of my family friends knew another person that moved from the Ireland to the States, and it was we met over every now and then once the family friend had cookovers or cookouts. She was a nice lady. I just liked her accent. And that's eventually, I guess, I just stole it somehow.
It's cultural
Like
osmosis.
unironically, unironically, that was how the voice came to be. It is an actual voice from someone. Her
Hey,
accent was from someone.
Wait, no.
Of
So-
course, you're so embellishing. She didn't say, "Oh, laddies,
Yeah.
this, lasses, that." But so embellishing.
So, the trip itself will commence as you are all, as stated, given the royal treatment. The cabin you're in is routinely cleaned day to day. You have access to multiple different luxurious offerings. The cabin itself has a attached bathroom as well with a big brass tub, sink, and many soaps on offer. The buffet and bar is always fully stocked. Look, it's fully stocked when mealtime happens. Bar is always open, though it's usually encouraged that you drink right around drink sometime after noon passes. The question becomes, without going into too much detail, I think, how do people spend the first week of the voyage?
Out of character, how many weeks does this voyage take?
2, roundabout.
Can I make a? No, I probably couldn't. I was gonna make a funny spell.
Sure.
You know what? Let's do that later. I'll do that later off stream off game, and I'll tell you about it. I just saw a spell that sounds very funny to change slightly.
Mhm.
Do you want me to say it now then?
Send it to me in private if you wish.
Okie dokie.
Yes, the first week goes by relatively uneventfully, assuming none of you decide to start trouble.
Mark, joke.
Well, we are traveling with a criminal. Perhaps Vark and I must address the situation at the end.
I was about to say, I thought in like last session you guys were like going over as we were like heading to the boat.
Also,
Unless you want to save that for this.
I will state, if at any point around the crew you make the joke about being a stowaway, that immediately gets an odd look from a lot of the crew.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That knows, like, being an unconvicted criminal or being a stowaway. Wick, you acknowledge local?
I believe I do. Why would you want
I would request that you roll that.
me to? Okay, I shall do so. Yes, knowledge local.
Hula?
Shh, go back.
Olin.
Oh my!
Oh no.
Hello?
We lost Mallory.
Oh.
May have been called away for dinner.
Yeah.
Probably.
Also, I got a nat
Or
one
maybe,
for my
you
knowledge
know,
local.
the
I saw.
DD.
Given the
Right,
nature of the
DM, I
situation
think
and how you are the only real expert on all things maritime, I'm tempted to give you a reroll.
Would you allow it?
I'd allow it. As hilarious as
I'll-
that would be.
16.
16.
I was
16's
gonna
better.
offer. Could I do something? Because I have all the fucking knowledge for some reason.
I mean, you could. In this case, this pertains in particular to what Liquid knows, thus knowledge local.
Oh, well, You know,
Right.
you know what? He can have all that.
So, Larry says that Nat 1 would have been, and also Grim has multiple false information tokens banked in the wings. So he's waiting for me to just sling you guys some
Flick has a
dubious
Flick
information.
has a Forgore moment
Yeah.
for like a couple seconds. Then
Yep.
the
Yeah.
light bulb goes off.
Yeah, you don't okay. The way I'm gonna say it is you're not exactly sure why, but there's something kicking around in the back of your head that tells you something about, like, especially when Clark makes that particular joke about being a stowaway. Something about that has been bothering you for a little bit. And while you can't exactly remember why, you do remember that men of the sea tend to be very superstitious.
You know, it's funny. I had the idea that Flick is also a bit of a superstitious type himself.
Mhm.
I was sharing this with Pebby, or with Foy. Sorry.
No, you were. Yeah, I don't care how you were.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, good. Yeah. No, I was talking about this with Foy. Yeah, I have a feeling Flick would probably be giving Vark a weird look as well.
Oh yeah, you'd be joining in with the. You don't exactly remember why, but you're pretty sure a stowaway on a ship is considered incredibly bad juju.
Flick is going to
Whiskey.
kind of lean over to Vark upon him making that joke, and he's going to mutter, "Harken those words well there, my friend, because best not to invoke them around seafaring folk if you such a name doesn't bring good tidings, you know." And it gives him a pat on the shoulder and says, "Just saying."
Oh, well, in that case, I have been cleared of all charges. I am a free man once more.
Buck is a free boy. It's a free elf.
Yippee!
Hashtag free Vark.
They gave Vark a jar of mustard.
Where is your DM there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, Quest, if you haven't, I'd like you to look at the symbol paths on them.
Oh. What about it in particular? You mean the good lich image? Yeah.
Yes.
God.
I
Stupid.
am an Arcanist.
You know what kills me more? The sentence I had to pull up GIMP immediately. Fucking GIMP of all things.
It's free Photoshop, okay?
Yes, I know. I mean, there's no judgment. It's just like
I
that
just
gives
came
it
for
like this extra flavor.
Yeah.
The good lich, more like the bad lich. Am I right?
you.
The
Negative
same
1
lich.
rank and perform comedy for Liquid's work.
God damn it.
I also like Aldo's comment, like, you can just say a lich.
Yep,
The bitch.
that's a tautology.
Bitch. He's a bitch now, lich.
The bad lich.
The
Yeah,
lich.
the bad lich is just a
Yeah, yeah.
tautology. But yes. Right. Yeah, no, Flick, you know, for some reason or another, stowaway on a ship in particular that's bad vibes. It wasn't until very recently as well that any manner of female companionship on a ship was also seen as very bad vibes. Something that, in particular, your sister considered total dumbassery, and as a matter of fact, she led lots of very successful raids and pillagings under your father's banner with no issue whatsoever, and no hauntings, no sinking ships, no bad juju whatsoever. And in fact, when she was leading alongside you, second, like left hand to you being the right hand to your father, was on something of a killing spree by the time the whole mutiny thing happened. So she was very much not a believer in such superstitions. That did not stop some of the men from still buying into some of the old-fashioned beliefs. among those, you can kind of remember, especially now as you're listening to some of the mutterings of the crew after Vark's loud proclamation of confirmed innocence. I totally swear, believe me. You're remembering that there were some superstitions on the open ocean about how sometimes stowaways and mutineers aboard ships of better repute were sometimes visited by a vengeful ghost.
Oh. Oh no.
It is spooky month.
Is this
Best not catch the men thinking you're a revenant there, mate.
In fact, there was shortly before you were removed from the crew. There was some rumor about a ghost ship haunted the shores. Indeterminate where exactly it tended to crop up, but it was always some place where someone broke the superstitions and taboos. Whether that's entirely conjecture or a fisherman's tale, or if it was validity given the fact that vengeful ghosts of sailors are a thing. You know this as a matter of fact. You've run into some of them. That's left to be determined.
Well, Flick, being the somewhat superstitious type that he is, yeah, he wouldn't be too surprised if it was real. Let's
A
just
black
say,
cat being superstitious? There's a joke in there somewhere.
young lady, I'll have you know I have spots.
Fair.
Got her.
But yes, anyways.
We just chilling along for the ride.
All right.
How about actually during the week, kind of trail everyone bit by bit, kind of focusing from one to the other more. Not like spying on them, but more like she doesn't know how to get to know people better, so she just follows them around.
And somehow everyone has a frying pan alternate reality future.
Mm-hmm. Everywhere you look, it's there in the dining room with the frying pan.
Everywhere I look, I see her
Wait.
face.
She walks in like on serious.
Alba would actually avoid Siren for like 1 or 2 days.
Hey, DM, you can take your DMs if you want for night for the idea. Something simple.
Of course it is.
My apology.
James.
That works. Yeah.
We can work out the details later if you really want. I'm in no rush to use it.
We can hammer that out later. Anyway, hopefully, hopefully Mallory comes back alive sometime soon.
I messaged her.
Let me see. Message back.
Why, is there something that's gonna happen, DM?
Well, no, I just want Mallory to be, potentially here, even if it is just for him to be drinking himself silly on the boat ride over.
Again.
Yeah. Also, just double checking in. Frey, do you need to get going anytime soon?
Not yet. I will let you know when the time comes, 'cause I do have to leave early today, but it's quite literally not even dependent upon me. Like, I can't leave until they come home. So
Just give me a 5-minute heads up.
yep, I recall that was the intention. Don't worry.
Yep. All right.
Holo Holo is just gonna try to like run around with the majority of the group and actually just have fun with them on the trip, seeing that we're trying to relax. There.
Cool. So you guys have all kinds of food available. The meals alter from day to day. Usually it's There's not always like something luxurious, but there's always things like cold cuts, iced drinks, stuff that's easy enough to cook in large amounts. Things like lasagna, stews, ratatouille. There's at one point is that there's gumbo being served. There's gambling. There's a small library on board, even to borrow from if you wish to read. There's always something to do on the ship if you need to keep your hands busy. The deck hands can always use help swabbing the decks. Those who want to keep themselves physically busy. Some of the crewmates in the crew quarters have even brought exercise equipment with them. In fact, on the back end of the ship, behind the engine house, leads down into the bowels. During the early morning hours before most of the passengers have woken up, the crew have, after the first few days, made it something of a tradition to gather behind the engine house and make something of a competition of lifting the heaviest weights they can and posing and showing off to one another.
Actually, you know what? I think Siren is gonna go up to Kari and say, "So, are you feeling any better? Because I know a few days ago you were a bit out of it, and you even barricaded yourself in isolation."
Yes, why would I not be okay? I mean, aside from the barricading myself, we buried the dragon. That's over. I'm okay now.
Oh, okay. I
Yes,
just know that.
people don't hate me anymore. That is the takeaway.
Ah, I see.
I didn't hate you. Holo just pops in out of nowhere.
With a frying pan in his hand. No.
Yeah, with a frying pan.
No,
actually,
enough with the frying pan.
It has like a paella, like a small paella.
Oh, just paella.
And slowly
Pulls out a
Siren
frying pan.
wraps her hands around on all this food.
Yeah, everyone's just killing each other. No.
Yes.
Siren, you know you want to do it. You know you want to kill me again.
The
No.
closer you return back to the
Again.
north, the more the grip of the Wendigo gets on you.
Anyways, so she's gonna go. Well, that's good. Just making sure you're all right. So, what's your favorite color? She kind of bops him on the shoulder with her fist. Smiles awkwardly.
I believe I
Hear that?
pursued.
Out of character. Ooh.
I believe it used to be red, and then my father lit me on fire. Now I would say
What?
He what?
Yeah, he kind of
Yes.
did that. He did it because, I don't think I was there for it, but it was something like, you talked?
He talked?
Yeah.
That's why he got lit on fire for talking?
I mean,
yes. Oh, it was basically that. I had suggested a better way that we could keep the eggs, as we were keeping them all in a clutch. That it seemed a little strange that we did not sort them by different color, as Orthos was known to take a variety of drakes and dragons from different broods that he could take. Thus, why we have Vair. And I suggested we separate them as to not confuse them, and he lit me on fire. Did you not notice that I have burn marks on my entire back?
Well, I suppose I did always wonder why those were there.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's a dragon thing.
Yeah, it would have to be said that, for as tyrannical as Orthos might be, it's as hot as a ancient dragon's fire might be, you would know, based just off of facing that previous dragon, that either Karia must have gotten quite lucky, or Orthos must have held back significantly when exhaling his exhaling his fire breath on Karia. Because if he had leveled the full concentration of his flame breath on Karia, he would likely be ashes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Corey would be
Right.
So
dead.
it was intended as a punishment, not as a lethal thing. Not necessarily a justification either way, but
Yeah,
you know, shows that the Orthos has restraint.
Ah, haha, yay!
You're mildly useful for me, so I'll incinerate half your body.
I'm only just going to show you I'm angry at the fact that you're questioning my methods. Your job here is to obey and not think. Is pretty much the message that was sent.
Indeed.
Right.
My favorite my favorite color. I was gonna say purple, but then I remembered no, I don't really like this. I like white.
What?
Oh yeah, like he like Vair gestures at his purple scaling and is like, it's kind of a reminder, you know. The whole like
Yes, I was going to say purple as well, and then I was going to say red. I think red is very pretty, but then
they're two really nice
hmm.
colors, but they've just kind of been ruined for us, haven't they?
Yes, very unfortunate. Anyways, Siren, yes,
I was
I
gonna
don't
say-
know have an answer to your I don't have an answer to your question.
I do.
However, oh,
I really like
yes, I-
platinum white.
Ah, very pretty.
that's actually very strange. You would like no color. Well, color, but that is also no color.
Well, let's just say I've been recently very enchanted with the prospect of an absence of certain colors.
I see. I like gold, but I don't know if that's the dragon and me just being greedy.
I don't think so. Gold is very pretty.
Yes. What color are your scales? I don't.
They're like I guess a sort of teal. She kind of looks up and touches her
If-
forehead and cheeks.
Yeah, Kari, if
I
you look
like
at,
that color.
if you look at the scales that are
Oh.
up around her temples, they're a very like pretty shimmering mix of teal and sky blue.
Oh. Yes, that color. I like that color.
Oh, me as well.
Yes. Goodbye! And then he immediately starts walking away.
What?
He's just
Okay.
like,
Bye bye now.
Vair, I don't know what to do. Look,
Well, I know what you should have done, but I don't think you had the heart to do it.
Holo just looks at Paka and Lolo. They're just a bunch of dorks.
Siren
Guys,
walks
King-
away, blushing a little bit and touching her
Sorry.
scales.
But-
Harry turns back.
Lolo looks Hollow dead in the eye and says King Dork of Dork Mountain.
Well, have you know, Lolo, you're the dorkiest dork I've ever known.
Well, yeah, it just comes from the fact that we're part of you.
I'm taking away your
We'll
grapes
get him.
tonight.
We'll
I'm
get him.
taking away your
dare.
Oh,
I'm
oh.
taking away your grape bucket.
You dare.
I'm gonna take your grapes in a second.
No, no, Holo just starts running.
Big,
Lolo just actually hissing at him.
Harry, at that point, after talking with Vair for a moment, will turn around, like very hurriedly, grab Siren's wrist, and then just kind of keep walking. Just drag her somewhere.
What are we doing something? Are we
I
talking
don't
about future
know.
plans?
Vair's like
Look,
he seems torn for a second. He's like he's gonna follow after them. Right back to the weirdness happening with the cabin is like.
Look,
Siren's
they
gonna
just-
look back at Vair.
Foot calls
Uh,
after them both. Good luck. Have fun.
Vair sits fully up. His tail comes up right above his draconic brow as if in a mock salute towards Siren.
Siren's just gonna like inquisitively, very confused, salute back because she doesn't know what else to do.
And
Brown
then
chicken, brown cow.
what do you call it? Then Karya drags you out of the cabin.
Ah!
Alban kind of was flopping over one of the capybaras, like cuddling into the floor, looking at this whole scene. It just very softly goes into the capybara's ear, but loud enough that anyone else could hear it. I am so happy I'm not old enough for this yet.
The smaller of the capybaras, Paka, chitters back at you, and it seems to looks at you, nodding with an that spark of intelligence and a knowing look in its eye.
Yeah, and she gives him Paka like little scritchies.
He just his eyes close and his head kind of comes back up, and he kind of the little one, Paka, he shudders under the attention.
Good.
Then he just relaxes back into and leans into you.
Yeah. I want to not like during the week also like would kind of slowly shed like not the full clergy clothes that cover every inch of her body, but you know, like sleeves and tiny little dresses. And you would see that she actually, like on her chest and arms, has feathers growing, white feathers.
Oh yes. Pretty.
And so yeah, well, I think we'll leave it up to interpretation what exactly happens with Karia and Siren as they exit stage left.
Ow.
He just throws her off the boat because he doesn't know what else to do. And she goes, ah!
Karia hears about the superstition.
Terrible accident.
Karia hears once about the anti-woman superstition on board and was like, well, guess we have to get rid of her.
Oh no.
Yup.
But no, but whether it's just like awkwardly standing on deck, not knowing what to say to one another, or actually getting some inter-character development done, who knows?
What timeline was that one, Alba? Or Alba?
That one was censored.
Yeah,
I can see that one.
we're PG. Sorry, we don't have kissing with hand holding in this stream. We keep things purely PG.
I just imagine they just go to sit on like a bench on like the main deck and just awkwardly look at the floor sitting next to each other.
They don't say a word. They just...
They have an intense staring contest.
Or Siren goes, and Karia goes, don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Well, this was a productive first date anyway.
You have done well. You have advanced my progression path by 1 heart.
Social link level.
Yay!
And she didn't even have to give him like an egg for that.
Mhm.
Started
Yeah.
really lied to me.
He already has it.
die for you.
Is as they're both sitting awkwardly up on the deck, the Lover's Arcana appears in front of you both as time freezes. No. Shitty Persona reference aside.
Does Vair evolve into a more powerful persona yet?
Not yet. That's max. That's the maxed out social link. But yes, time moves ever onwards, with moments here and there punctuated with things with scenes like that. Some days are spent below deck, enjoying some of the really nice food that they have on offer, even some of the more exotic drinks they have available. There's carousing, there's games, there's nights where the bar is occupied by somebody who's just so convinced that if he just belts it out hard enough, he can make it as a singer. And unfortunately,
It's Lark.
alcohol bridges that gap between reality and fiction. And if it's Vark up on stage singing "Don't Stop Believing," then so be it.
He's cradling the rock that was once a diamond in his palm.
God,
He's
the rock,
he's
D-
no,
the rock
I forgot
D20,
about that.
the granite
serenading
D20.
it.
He's up on stage. He's holding it like fucking what do you call it? Like Horatio.
York. The last poor
Yeah,
York.
York.
but
Yeah,
it's
he's
the
holding
rock.
it like York's skull.
Don't stop. believe
Hold
it.
on to that feeling. And then, yeah, just clutching the rock to his. No. Anyway.
I imagine it with Vox dead ass voice.
Oh, for sure. Alternatively,
stop
Vark might have the
believing.
voice. Yeah, Vark
Hold
might
on
have
to
that
that
voice for like sing talking. He might do rap, if that was ever actually a thing. And
Flick tries to convince
One
Vark
thing,
to
I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard I try.
Flick tries to convince Vark to go up on stage and sing "It's Tough to Be a God."
It's
yes, the trip is punctuated here and there, and as usual, appearing out of the ether and here and there on the ship, and also occasionally joining in with the festivities and carousing with the crew. Mitra is here.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hey!
she just kind of flits in and out of existence here and there, kind of generally speaking. She is there, but she's in and out. Weirdly enough, she's spending a concerning amount of time around Mallory of all. And as a result, also is just kind of dragging him across the ship in various different directions. And she'll just wave to one of you, then disappear around a corner with one hand on Mallory's cloak, like shoulder cloak, and then yanking him out of sight. And then anybody that would go to try and follow them would find them completely gone.
is she the one who took my village?
Who knows?
Oh.
Maybe
How
she's
does
some
Mallory
form of.
look every time we see you?
Maybe her sister is some form of spidery trickster god that steals things.
Oh, no.
Wouldn't that be a hell of a thing? Anyway,
Really would.
eventually, the ship does actually slow down at one.
Oh.
As
Oh,
it
you're on the
approaches
side.
a very small island just off the coast. As if you were to look to your right off the main deck, you would see the high mountains of the Dwarven Isle of Yucatan. Now, normally, people don't tend to stop in the waters around here unless they absolutely have to, because the dwarves are very particular about guarding their national waters. As it is, and you skirt around the shores of Yucatan, there are quite a few recognizable dwarven turtle ships, these being low-belly ships with iron surfacing on the top. They're the top of the ship, rather than being a flat deck that's higher above the water, it's actually rather close to the water, and is protected over top with spiked metal sheets. Only a couple of doors going out the front and the back. The ship itself has much more below the water, at least for those who know anything about boats. They would know that. They're also known for having cannons and flamethrowers mounted on their ships. And so they're one of the fiercest forces on the open ocean. So most people try not to trifle with them, and those who
I
get shaken
remember.
down by their privateers do so with great caution.
Oh yes, war crime dwarves, my favorite.
Watch out for the fire breathers.
Not a war crime if it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
committed
Right
during
back.
wartime.
Okay, Jules. Also, yeah, Karya served with them for a little while when they recruited him to lift boxes.
Oh, it was these guys.
Yeah. The Yucatan dwarves. He was hauling cargo. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like any of the ships are stopping you. For some reason, the boat is slowing down. Here too, and anybody who has looked at a larger map in recent time, in particular Blake would probably be one of the ones, would recognize this place as the small island of Jute.
Ah, Jay.
Relatively uninhabited. All people really know about this place is that what's most notable about this small island, besides being kind of barren, is that there is a small tribe of elves that live there. Not much else is known about them, though. And as you are coming up alongside the island, what previously seemed to be a mast on the ship, but actually reveals itself to be a crane unfolds so that the crane arm reaches out over the side of the boat, dangling a rope from the end. As you see someone far off flashing something glinting off in the distance. Something Flick, again being a maritime navigator, recognizes someone using a mirror to shine a light at the boat to signal presence. And as the boat gets closer and closer and closer, that rope dangling from the crane arm comes up just alongside a rocky outcropping that stretches out from a small island. And standing on top of that outcropping, one arm gripping what looks to be a chest of some sort, sealed tight with silken rope as opposed to the hempen rope stretching down, brings their other hand up and snags the rope, wrapping it around their fist before then pulling it tight.
I'm back.
Back.
Welcome.
As they take a firm grip, and the moving boat then drags them basically off of the rocky outcropping, with the chest dangling from one hand and their other one fixed around the rope. The crane arm begins to retract, rising, then lowering as it turns to then lower the person down onto the deck.
Oh.
Hey, Sully's back.
Oh, hey. Welcome back. Only get a sign of life.
Like they're dead. D-E-D dead.
Mallory!
Wow.
Man, I'm dead.
Well, back in the ocean.
Go aboard.
Quick
They
overboard.
picked Sully up with a crane.
Oh yeah, that sure. That's what happened.
Sea shanty. Sea shanty.
Well, it's funny you should mention sea shanties, because as this is happening, a lot of the crew are gathering up on the upper deck. In fact, quite a few of them are cheering as the whole process happens, as the crane arm comes over the outcropping, and then as what you think is the shape of a woman grabbing the rope and then being yanked up off her feet and then brought up and lowered down onto the deck with the chest hanging from one of her hands. Just to check, Mallory, are you there? I suppose
It
not.
says she's on Discord. But yeah.
Well, she came back, so I assume she's alive. Oh shit.
She might have got called away again. I
Maybe.
guess.
Maybe she just got back and then got called away. Oh well. Right. The crew are gathered around the center of the main the main deck. The morning swab duties have just been finished, as they all gather in a great big circle around where the crane is lowering the woman down. First to touch down is the chest, as it sets down with a significant amount of weight with a hump. The thing clatters, you see odd bits of jewelry fall out of the chest onto the deck next to it. And then letting go of the rope and landing on her feet is a somewhat familiar looking individual, actually like quite familiar looking. In fact, spitting image of somebody you know. Standing tall, lithe, and muscular with 6 arms. Looks like
What is
Mitra.
she doing?
As
Where is this person?
Hmm?
Where is this person at?
where? They're in the center of the
Yeah.
center of the top deck, currently surrounded by a bunch of the crew, a bunch of the crew members.
Hey, since I know that Mitra had I remember that she had a sister.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just go over and just very off? Surely we saw Mitra go the other way, right?
She was here and there on the ship.
yeah, I'll check that out. Mostly
He's also
because
going to be
I'm,
checking this out.
yeah,
Well,
like,
it's-
wait a minute.
The crew are making a bit of a scene up on the top deck. They've formed something of a tight ring around where she's standing. It's got one foot up on the chest as she's flexing 3 of her 6 arms and making a bit of a show to the crew members as they exclaim her achievements, asking more than a couple of them come up and give her a big high five and ask her what exactly she did, what exactly she managed to grab a hold of, whose treasure that might be.
I want to walk up and go, hey, Mitra?
As you-
Didn't you just go over that way?
As you first you have to push through the crowd of sweaty sailormen first, but as you do,
Oh boy.
and you sort of like slip between the masses of sweaty muscle,
Men.
you kind of pop out the other side into the circle around this woman. You get a proper look at her, and yeah, she's the spitting image of Mitra. And as you approach her, you ask her, greet her by name? Question mark.
Yeah, so
She-
hey, Mitra, weren't you just... Where'd Mallory go?
As she sees you and then comes up to you, bring one of her 3 right arms around to hook you around the neck. Brings her one of her left arms up to give you a noogie and say, it's my old chum. Yes, I was just here last night. I decided to make a stopover on Jute just to get some just decided to get ahead of the boat and get some treasure. Please.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Perfect timing. Anyways, DM.
Yes.
Well, damn. Something ain't feeling right here.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, yes. Welcome back, Sully. It's been about a week since everybody's been on the ocean. You guys have gotten the luxury treatment. Also, whenever it's relaxation hours, Mitra has been dragging Mallory back and forth on the boat.
What?
6-arm lady.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she's been taking Mallory all over the boat to do things like gamble, drink, sing, dance. It's kind of disappearing here and there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Speaking of which,
So,
so you were saying?
I'm gonna type the reason I was away.
Okay, no problem.
No, so I
tavern.
still find...
Oh no.
Shit.
Yeah, well, he's clean now, so
Good.
and I sprayed everything with soapy water.
All right. Yeah, then I'm not surprised you were away for so long. Anyway.
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
We're all
Dude.
merry and gay over here.
Yes.
Yes.
Mary. That's why they call it Mary time.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh
No,
wait, married
no.
the. Oh, stupid.
Heh.
I'm having a gay old time.
Yes. But yes. To get you catch up,
We're having a
someone
go
has
gay
just
time.
been
Murdered?
recovered off of a small island that the ship has made a temporary stop at. She's been brought over onto the boat. She's someone who the crew seems to be familiar with and are high-fiving, hugging, and congratulating. And she's made onto the ship with a big old chest full of something that when she dropped it onto the deck seemed to spill out all kinds of loose bits of treasure. Though the ship is not the Going Merry. This is not One Piece. There's many piece. No,
Yeah.
not one
Several
piece.
pieces.
Wonk
Several
piece.
pieces.
Wonk piece. That's it.
Um,
But the
I
woman.
would just
Hmm?
quickly scan over the true side, but if there's nothing, she's just okay. Cool.
Okay, go for it. But the woman in question is the spitting image of Mitra. She is tall, slender, has a lot of tattoos, and has 6 arms. And currently has
What?
Hmm?
He's a spitting image of Mitra?
Yeah.
Mitra's not our sister?
perhaps, and currently has Chaiko in a headlock and is noogieing her.
Oh. Well, I'm not gonna get into that.
Fair.
So yeah. What's our result of my son's motive? That depends what happens next. What I plan for next.
Well, these arms definitely feel like Mitra's. And she talks like her. She has the same voice. And yeah, like Mitra does have a tendency to just kind of disappear and reappear on occasion.
That she does.
So, like, as far as you know, yeah, Mitra's sister, like Mitra did say she had a lost sister, but at the same time, that lost sister has been pretty lost for a good bit. It'd be kind of weird if she just kind of appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be. It would be strange, but also on brand for the Mitra sisters. If one does it, why doesn't the other? It's,
Can I,
Yes.
just to interject a bit, is there any seaside creature that can sort of project somebody's desires in the shape of a human or in the shape of any figment?
Give me a knowledge arcana.
All right.
And what can I do is, for this, also in case I didn't say this before, this is kind of important for this. Human, by the way.
Does that plus
I like
count?
to.
Plus 2 would count.
14.
Okay. I like to try to break away. Can I cast detect magic?
Boy, you always can. If you want to try and break away, roll me a d20.
D20. Okay.
As for Alba, seeing as you wanted to open your third eye when looking at this one.
No.
Oh boy. Actually, real quick, and this won't take too long. Mallory, you think you heard some stories about creatures like that on the ocean, but as for what creatures that might be, you can't really recall.
Duh.
There might be a thing, like there's a couple stories out there like shape-shifting seals, but this might be a bit far south for that. As for Chaiko, no, she's got her arm firmly locked around your head.
Okay. What does she notice that I'm breaking away?
I mean, yeah, she feels you struggling against her.
Does she
Wait,
let go?
sorry. I just came back. What happened? I left after Sully had just come back.
Calling
Chaiko's
Noogie.
the spitting image of Mitra is currently noogieing Chaiko. Alba, having now opened her third eye and looking this woman over, give me a d20 as well.
Uh-oh.
Let's just determine how effective this is.
It's true sight.
Yeah, it's true sight.
Some things can block true sight.
Yeah, and sometimes true sight requires perception.
Yeah.
Or other things. So yes, as you try and see if there's any like disguise or any sort of trickery going on. As far as you can tell, this woman is exactly as she seems. Though there's definitely something odd about her that you can't really pin down.
You see like Alva looking at her, giving like tiniest frown, but then relaxing her face again and just
The true sight does allow you to see.
a little bit holding.
True sight does allow you to see small forms of imperfections and differences in her that definitely set her aside from this Mitra character you've seen on occasion here and there.
Yeah. Who she also didn't know jack shit about,
Yeah.
and also would have
Actually-
used her true sight on.
Actually, wait, no.
Uh,
You continue. Sorry.
There's something.
no.
Now having seen both of them, there's something that you can reliably say, and that both seem kind of incomplete.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I know what they are.
Yes, the
Before I do detect magic, does she let me break free, or is she still giving me a noogie?
she gives you one last good like rub with her knuckles before she lets go and says, "Ah, go on, get off with you scamp."
I was about to cast a Jolt on her. Anyways, detect magic it is then.
Okay. I mean, yeah, she's got. When you return back to the crowd and you detect magic on her, yeah, she's got some magic on her here and there. She's got bits of magical equipment on her. Besides that, she's got sort of she's got an aura of ki from the looks of things.
That makes sense. She was a monk. Is there what is it? Is there any traces of enchantment magic at all? That's the enchantment.
Not from what you can see.
Damn. Okay.
Then breaking through the crowd, with Wiggled not far behind where Mallory is currently standing. As Mallory, you're jolted up against and says, "Hey, what's going on here?" It's Mitra.
Oh.
She's not quite as tall as Mallory is, and she's just a couple inches shorter. She's trying to look over the shoulders of the sailors and then pokes Mallory and goes like, "What's going on? What's everybody in a hubbub about?"
Wait. Who else sees me? Actual Mitra now?
Alright, that's
Mallory. Oh, okay, Mallory only. Never mind then.
Mitra's looking at you expectantly. It's just because you can't see a table doesn't mean you spot the table before you stub your tongue. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, June, is there two Mitras?
Are we in fact experiencing double trouble?
Hey, simple pass chat.
I
Yeah.
seriously think it's like a body snatcher situation. This is
Mhm.
gonna not end well.
Yeah, Mitra's looking up at you, Mallory. Is like, "What's going on? Why is everybody in?" Kind of like, do I have to start like prying people apart so I can get a look?
You know, Mallory's just gonna look at Mitra, then look at the other Mitra, and then back,
They look like
and then sigh.
they dead ringers.
He's just gonna
Look at
step
what?
aside.
Like, do I have something on my face?
He's just gonna step aside and gonna sort of, with a hand motion, sort of gesture toward the other Mitra.
She, where you step aside, she sticks her head in her shoulder and looks through. Stops dead for a second. Chaiko, you see the face of another Mitra poke out from between Mallory and some of the other crowd. Goes stock still, and then physically throw one of the sailors out of the way as she charges into the middle of the circle, jumps into a flying tackle, and crashes into the other six-armed woman, tumbling her off the top of the chest she was half standing on.
Albo would immediately hide behind Karia
Oh my
if
god.
he's there. Or anyway, like the tallest person in the house, just like, nope.
I am indeed the tallest.
Yeah, are we all? This is happening on the deck, and everyone's on the deck.
It's on the main deck. Whether or not you're on the main deck is up to you. You would have probably heard the commotion going on top.
I knew something was up.
Yes.
What are the odds?
What-
DM, roll the odds. No.
I did roll the odds. But yes, the flying tackle, which previously may have seen as a sign of aggression, has now resolved itself into a cuddle pile as two women with 6 arms each hold each other in a big, rather strong hug, as they both have fully wrapped their arms around each other, and are giggling in a pile next to a chest full of treasure.
What? Huh? Why are the two Mitras twins?
and stuff.
Does no one remember her story about her trying to find her lost sister? BRB.
Oh! Yes! Oh. I guess you found
Wait,
her.
when I look at them both together now, do they seem complete now?
There's something between them that you could see now. It's almost a barely visible gossamer thread. When they stand close next to each other, seems to become more whole. And yes, now that they stand next to each other, they seem to be complete.
Alba kind of peeks behind whoever she was hiding against, probably Karma, if that is allowed. And just very softly smiles at the scene. So relaxes a little bit.
And so yeah, eventually they do drag each other to their feet as as Mitra or whoever the other one is, or one or the other, whichever is which. Yeah, they proceed to do what the first one did with Chaiko, and go back and forth trying to manhandle each other and give each other a noogie. This eventually resolves in a triple arm wrestle that then resolves again with them being on the ground wrestling one another.
Beautiful.
Eventually, the captain breaks through the circle of the circle of crew members, looks at what's happening, grabs them both by the scruff of the neck, and then brings them up and stands them on their feet.
Siren's just excitedly clapping, going, Mitra and Mitra found her sister Mitra.
The captain is kind of looking between which one, kind of deciding, trying to figure out which one to scold. Before then, just after what looks to be a conversation that kind of doesn't make it over over the volume of the crowd around you guys, proceeds to clap one of them on the shoulder with a big hand, gesture towards the treasure chest, and then gesture towards the door to his cavern, to his cabin. Then making a gesture to a couple of the sailors. Okay, it would appear that Alba's headphones have died, which is a shame. As such, probably will not be able to. We'll have to, if possible, rejoin us in a bit, or we'll be just done for the night. Regardless, after that, a couple of sailors, they grab the chest and begin transporting it up into the wheelhouse, along with the two Mitras and the captain. And with that, after a bit of more conversation, some laughter, some banter back here and there from between the sailors, the crowd disperses.
Can I go up to the two Mitras?
If you would like to go up into the captain's wheelhouse and
Oh,
see
no,
them
no,
there.
they went in there.
I
mean,
didn't
if
say
they're
you
going
could
for,
come
like,
come there anytime you like.
Well, yeah, but if it seems like it's going to be like a private conversation, I don't want to interrupt that.
Hmm.
You know what? I'll just let them revel in the reunion of the family reunion and talk to them later.
I was about to, I was about to say we could always just wait till afterwards and then
Yeah.
like have a chat with them after the fact.
Yeah.
I know. Flick, even though he's not been saying anything this time, he's been like smiling ear to ear on seeing this reunion.
Yeah.
God, this music really just set the mood for the episode.
It really did.
Especially Alba looking into the future.
Especially that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Also, I will be right back.
It's like one sentence, I just- Written, you have two NPCs that are possible to distinguish from one another. Real quick. Yep. Okay. After a bit, those of you who wait outside the captain's cabin, or just somewhere loosely around there, the two sisters do exit, acting and talking almost in sync with one another, as they both, with similar gait, walk out the front door, extending a hand each to push the door open, chatting very animatedly between one another. And they notice the rest of you, and one of them splits off from the two, gestures to the rest and says, "All right, I met these guys while I was on the road. Bina, meet my friends. Everybody, this is Bina."
Oh, hello, Bina. Oh, I guess I should also say my name. My name is Sirin. What else?
The Bina, as she's been introduced, approaches, extending a hand, and then another and another, as she takes your hand and gives it a very, very strong handshake. Says, "Nice to meet you. I'm Bina. I'm Mitra's older sister. Play like 5 seconds. 5 seconds is still older."
Technically, I suppose. You're twins then.
Guilty as charged.
Well, how did you get separated?
That's... I want to say there's a complicated story, but it's really not. We left home, and then basically immediately we got separated in town. And ever since then, we've just kind of been looking for each other, and every time we find each other, we get separated again. Every time we find each other again, we're somehow another... She looks up into the sky, measuring, like bringing a thumb up against the sun, and says, "Another league west, about."
Oh, hopefully this time we don't get separated anymore.
Okay. The one you think is Mitra, maybe Bina, kind of shrugs and says, "I don't know, it's not so bad. We got to go our own ways, explore a bunch of things, and then find each other again."
Oh. Well then. Blessings to being able to find each other again next time you do separate.
Bina gives a clap to that and says, "I can drink to that."
Like, well, sorry, go ahead.
Speaking of which,
No,
I
go
can
ahead.
go to the bar. You guys want to join me?
Well, first Flick will step forward and say, if there's something I'll drink to, it's that bloody good hole it seems you got there, and he'll extend a hand.
She gives
Flick
a-
of the ear. Pleasure to meet you.
She takes your one hand in all 6 of hers and gives it a hearty shake and says, "Well, thank you very much," with a very wide grin, big toothy grin. She says, "I'll tell you all about it over a drink."
Yeah, sure. Oof. Wow, you got quite numb there. Oh, arms, I should say.
You know it.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
all
drinks
go
these.
drinking. Yeah.
Let's go gambling.
Let's go drinking.
Yeah. At Bina's insistence, you all transition down deck into the bar, which normally about this time is not really serving many drinks or any drinks at all. But an exception is made as someone mans the bar, what looks to be one of Bina's closer friends here on board, as she plops herself down on one of the stools by the bar, and many of the other sailors they press into the bar, sitting, and whatever seating is available as she gets ready to regale everybody with the story of her spoils.
Heads up quest, 5-minute warning here.
Okay.
I'm here
Yeah, but the child's having a total meltdown.
Aw.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it just yet. I might have to do it once you're gone. But I do have a plan.
It's all good. Okay, all good.
Thank you for the
Yeah,
warning, though.
what?
Frey's got a birthday party to it. Okay.
Oh, right.
So Bina, once everybody's settled in, goes on to speak about how there was a previously active pirate in the region, one who was based in Tricus, who buried his treasure on Jute. He previously had struck a deal with the elven tribe that lived there, not one of friendship, but one of some convenience and some bribery, where they would keep a limited form of watch on his stuff. And if at any point he should pass away, they would bury it somewhere on the island. And they did. She went there. She recovered it, and part of the reason for that, for the hasty getaway via crane arm, is because the tribe of elves who were sworn to look after the treasure had not yet known that she'd absconded with it, and they were likely to find out sometime that morning. She had been signaling the boat ever since the night before with her mirror, and she does believe that it's sometime soon they're going to realize that the treasure is completely missing, and they're going to see the big hole she dug it out of. She doesn't know exactly what's in the treasure hall just yet, besides some knickknacks, valuables, and other things, but she's hoping it's going to see her a very long way. Oh yes, it also involved
Wait.
delving into an underground vault with more than a few traps.
Wait,
Takes a hearty Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go.
Yeah, Flick takes a hearty swig and says, "Whew, got a tomb on top of a buried treasure, eh?"
You'd think they'd learn after like the third boulder trap.
See, personally, I just put tripwires everywhere her wilderness, fill it with spiders.
Well, that's an idea. She says she like, looks over her own like.
Or
Eight
poisonous
lizards.
lizards, either way.
Yeah, see, what they seem to be heavy believers in ankle blades and boulder traps. Either way, I got out with my life and a big box of treasure, and hopefully them none the wiser until. I'll probably never be welcome on that island.
And you got your sister back on top of that. Well,
Greatest treasure I
full
could
of-
ask. As she reaches over and
Aw.
pulls
Ain't that the
Mitra in
truth?
for a sideway hug.
You're quite the impressive adventurer.
Well, I wouldn't call myself an adventurer. I'm more of a treasure hunter, really. My sister's more the adventurer. She nods over to Mitra. She's always was the better one when it came to actually going out, doing heroic things, and fighting and other things. I've always taken things the more subtle route. Though, it's never stopped me from spinning a good yarn. She brings their mug up, slams it on the table, and the rest of the crew raises theirs in turn.
As does Flick.
As does you.
So, my sister tells me you're all pretty accomplished adventurers of your own. Something about a dragon?
Yes, well, that's a rather complicated story. It's not just, we slayed a dragon and saved the day. Well, that did happen. It was under someone's control, meaning that if that person hadn't interfered, we wouldn't have even had to fight the dragon in the first place. So it was a rather depressing dragon slaying. But I suppose technically it did need to happen.
Well,
Plus,
not the most.
plus, hey, we got the trophies to prove it, and Flick will motion to both the harness on his right arm and also show in place on the bar itself the dagger made out of a dragon's tooth that he received.
Yeah.
Bina will actually pick up the knife, unsheath it for a moment, look at it, and say, "We did. Where we're over from, we don't get a lot of dragons. So I'm not sure just how true that is, but I trust my sister's word. And as anticlimactic as that sounds to you, sounds like you still did a hell of a thing. Not a lot of people will go up in front of a dragon and, well, face a dragon. All for something completely, say, nothing to do with you guys.
Oh,
And that's
you say it like it's hard.
Say so getting breathed on by a dragon fire is pretty difficult, at the very least dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it wasn't easy.
Yeah, very painful. Not good.
Oh, well, the foolish or brave, that's what makes heroes. So, congrats to you. She brings up her mug, takes a drink, and says, "There's something worth drinking to as well." She,
You're right.
she even she from where Siren's sitting, one of Bina's hands will quest over to Siren's hand and then grab it around the wrist before bringing it up to head level. And then one of Bina's hands will come back and then give you a particularly hard high five.
Yeah.
From one accomplished traveler to another. You should be proud of what you did, even if it's not something you might be happy about. You guys did something big. That's worth something.
I suppose it's true. Although I'm honestly more proud of defending that village from the troglodyte invasion.
I don't think Mitra told me about that one. She did tell me about the well monster though.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, that.
She said she was
That's
there
not a
for
good
that
piece
one.
of work.
Yeah. You guys apparently have your fair share of dealings with all kinds of nasties, so... I mean...
Should have seen what happened up north.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Siren, do you want to tell some of it, or do you want me to? Or should Chaka, because I feel like Chaka needs to chime in a bit.
What do you want me to say?
You remember what happened up north, yeah?
How can I forget?
The Bina kind of looks you up and down, Chago, and says, like, well, you don't have to go into detail if you don't want to. Also, by the way, sorry for giving you a hard time earlier. I tend to do that whenever somebody mistakes me for Mitra.
Yeah, you're close to getting a little shock if you let me go soon enough.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh.
Looks at Mitra.
Like,
Your sister is quite a unique one.
she's more of a daredevil than I am. That's saying something.
None of that I can get behind.
She's always been a bit of an adrenaline junkie. Me, I just like, I'm a bit of a hedonist. She's... Well, you saw her hanging off of a crane arm.
Like when you say what happened up north, what exactly do you mean? Because there were a few things that happened up north.
Well, it depends, because quite a lot happened. Where should we start? Should we start with the troglodytes, or the witch in the cabin, or the village fight?
And then Siren is going to go into a very weird kind of rambling of there were the troglodytes and there was the switch, and then I choked out one of the friends here in the party, but that was completely unintentional, and then the other troglodytes attacked and we had to defend the village, and it was very unfortunate because there was this druid that we really liked and we tried to save her, but they burnt her down while we went looking and she died. But then she transferred her life to her daughter so that she could live, because she was almost dying as well, and then she became the leader of the troglodytes, and there was this vampire. Oh yeah, that's how we met. This vampire guy said that we needed to go, and just rambling on and on and on.
Bina's sitting
Uh,
there,
fo-
like what, like just like lit perpetually on the rim of her mug as she's drinking, in a steady stream, nodding, non-stop nodding as she takes in the just stream of consciousness word vomit coming out of Siren.
I'm now
Uh,
here.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
wow. Okay. Yeah, no, I think you guys are about the only people I've ever heard of that have had as weird of a trip abroad as I have, and I'm on the other side of the world at the moment.
Something else particularly of note, as Flick says, he kind of places one of his arms up on the bar and kind of leans into it a bit. Something else happened. It was during the village fight. Our friend Kaya, a big dragon fella, muscular,
Yeah,
yay high.
the
You know,
big old wall of flesh I saw back upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
yeah,
He
I
was
get
fighting the.
lost in.
I wouldn't exactly say
I
that.
love how the music stopped when she said.
Record scratch.
Just like Siren says at the exact moment where all the conversation in the room just breaks for a split second. So all eyes go to Siren as she says, "Eyes you could get lost in." And then Bina looks you dead in the eyes and goes, "I wouldn't exactly say that, but hey."
Flick just leans over the Siren and whispers, "Don't get lost in them now," and nudges her.
Well,
Well, anyways, he was fighting the Troglodytes champion. Someone equally as built to the brick shit house as him. During the fight, I think he managed to do a decent number on him. And as that champion died, he called out to something. And I do mean something. But whatever he did call out to, answered with a big fuck off beam of light that obliterated him and damn near almost killed a friend.
Don't say.
Yeah, it was it knocked everyone in the ass. It was just came right down from the heavens, like act of God or act of the gods level stuff.
true divine intervention.
Basically, yeah.
Does sound nasty. That's
We did also hear some mutterings of some things called, what was it, the White Gods? I think it was.
gods.
Basically, there's stranger things at work up. There's stranger things at work up north than I think even we realize.
Sounds like it. I mean, where I come from, we deal with our own fair share of gods, for their own fashion.
Where do you come from?
Oh,
Like mentioned.
it's definitely probably not somewhere you've heard of before. But Sister Knight, she gives Mitra another little hug around the shoulder. We come from a little place called the Coral Cities. It's somewhere way off east.
Oh.
All cities.
To all of you, none of you guys would have heard of this place before.
Right.
That said, it's a lovely little place. It's always warm. Constant soft currents coming into the bay. Everybody's kind of got their little place in life sorted out. Devani, as far as the eye can see, and just some of the best ships you've ever seen. Also, just of course, the coral that the city gets its name from, because of the blessing of the gods we have there. You've got this nice warm current that's constantly coming in. So there's this constantly flourishing coral reef that we have our village built on top of, and it's beautiful. You got the most enchanting sea life that live around there, as well as I can't even describe the monasteries.
Wow, it
Yeah.
sounds like a dream.
I've been told it's one of the more idyllic places over east. We try to make it as nice as possible. We've got definitely plenty of inspiration to do so, considering the amount of crap we're surrounded by. I can't tell you how much how much we had to get through just to get over here. But yeah, we made
How
it.
far east are we talking?
I can't even tell you. I don't know. I could try and draw you a map, but I'm never very good at distances. I mostly navigate by star and sun. I'd have to say months of travel. Like my sister and I have been on the road for a couple of years now, and we've
Whoa.
been moving solidly west.
Funny, I've kind of been doing something similar myself.
Hmm.
Yeah, but traveling by sea mostly, actually.
I myself am just from a small village. I've never really traveled on this or anywhere else aside from the places I mentioned in the story from before. Hmm? Oh, he said he had to go.
Yeah, yeah. All right. But yeah, the Mina will say, well, yeah, it's. I don't want to say too much, because if I just say it in words, it's not going to do it justice. I've seen all kinds of things on the road here. I've seen fish people, blood-crazed elves, fae, and a massive prairie with minotaurs and centaurs as far as the eye can see. I had to run fast from those. Pirates too. Weird city made out of ships. Lizard people. Actual.
Wotard.
Oh, you recognize that?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I crossed through there for a bit. I had this guy who tried to shake me down for what I had. He said he was going to offer me he was offering to be a guide to get me up north further so I could get someplace that might actually have a port, like a proper one. But 10 feet out the door, he tried to shake me down, and yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they do that.
Yeah. Thankfully, I was faster than he was, so I just turned and ran.
Good on her. How you look vicious.
Yeah, as much as I would like to teach the punk a lesson, he had a sword drawn. I don't have one on me. Sometimes it's just better to leave.
Yeah.
Made my way through a bunch of lizard people, up through this weirdly dark country where things like there was lightning constantly, and eventually these guys with these big funny fur hats got on a boat, and then I was more or less just bouncing along the place until I found myself here, and I've been working, I've been treasure hunting to help fund myself, and I've been, every now and again I'll help out on one of the boats here. So that's where I know some of these guys from. So he gestures around to all the crew members who are listening with rapt attention.
Flick takes another sip of his drink and turns back to them and says, "No, had a crew kind of like this before. See, I'll tell a bit of a story about that, but mark in another time because celebrating and all.
Mhm.
Don't want to bring down the mood."
Yeah. Besides which, we've got until we get to the. Where are we going? Yeah. It looks between all of us. Where is this boat going, by the way?
We are
Mordor.
headed to. What'd you say, Siren?
Mordon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. What place with them? Wait, is that the place with the astrology academy?
Are you thinking of the Society Quadratica?
No, you guys left there.
Yes. I don't know about any. I mean, unless I'm missing something, damn. I don't know about anything about an astrology academy in Modon. I just know Modon is the, vampire place. with
Oh,
the
oh.
contracts.
Vampire. Oh, right. Sorry, I mix some of the names up sometimes. Still getting to know the different countries. so confusing.
Eh,
Well, what was
Uh,
the astrology academy?
don't blame me.
And it's somewhere like further back east. Remember, it's like a larger country. It's like part of the bigger continent.
What's the
remember.
continent called? If you remember. Oh, you don't remember.
Like where all the religious folk are.
Oh, the papacy.
Oh, right, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yes. I see. Well,
Yeah.
we're
So
going
it's
there
it's
eventually.
somewhere there, the northern, I think.
I see.
Cool. Get to see vampires again. That's gonna.
You
Nah,
know,
don't worry. You get used to it after a little bit.
It's just
Yeah.
they smell funny.
Well, I mean, it, it's not nice to be rude. They are dead, you know.
Yeah.
And
I
also,
guess.
I get vampires, but they're not all bad. The one we specifically were in contact with the most seemed alright and pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's not my problem. Really, it's all the it's all the signing paperwork last time I was there.
Ah.
They had me in a room for like 3 hours because I didn't have any kind of identification or whatever. They were asking me all these questions. They wouldn't let me go. Something about a 401k or something, and it's just I zoned out. Apparently, that only led to me being there longer. So, yeah.
I mean,
It's
hard
not even the undead thing. It's just being stuck in a room where that smells like grave dust and crinkly old paper. Just,
hard not to admire the business acumen, he says, kind of shrugging.
I mean, what's so wrong with just trading a couple gold coins, talking face to face, and then being done with it? Everything there is just. I've never seen so much paper stacked up in one place in my life.
They seem to take it pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Then again,
Yeah, they take everything
Then
really
again, I
seriously, don't they?
I don't blame me for wanting to doze off in the middle of it, because I'm not quite the business acumen type myself. I'm very straightforward.
I can't even land there and then just go right through. Every single time you go there, you have to do a bunch of paperwork, and then you have to sign a bunch of paperwork, and then you gotta read a bunch of books and everything. And if you don't do it right and get it right the first time, you gotta do it all over again. And I get so bored.
Blimey.
Also, this is a bit of an unrelated question, and excuse me for my ignorance, and I don't mean to be rude when I say this, but why do you and your sister have so many arms? It's incredible.
They look between each other, and then they look back at you, and back at each other, and they say, and then with all 4 shoulders and all 12 arms, shrug.
Oh.
And actually tell you, might be a quirk of our birth. We are a little
Did your
bit
parents have them?
weird. No, actually, both of our parents had 2 arms each.
Oh.
That doesn't seem to have held you back.
Well, definitely not. I mean, like, can't really do anything super heavy with the bottom 2 pairs of arms. You need like 3 sets of pectorals to be able to fully power punches or swinging weapons or whatever, but they're still good for holding things, juggling and climbing on occasion.
It means you never lose a street brawl.
Yeah.
True enough. It also means I never lose an arm wrestling competition, except against my sister.
Oh.
Yeah. As for why we got 6 arms, I mean, people asked the same question when we were born. The best they could manage is it has something to do with the same reason we're twins. My sister ever told you guys anything about Devati before?
She's mentioned it once.
Right. Okay. So there's a concept.
Yeah, I was about to say, I have to go over it again 'cause I think it's been a hot minute.
So there's a concept of where I come from, where we come from, over by the Coral Cities and the area around it. It's a bit of a spiritual thing. It's also part of the reason why there's so many monasteries, among a couple reasons. And with it being spiritual, it's not super well understood, but the area around there tends to produce a lot of what we call Devati. Or as we call them, the Divided. The best way to put it is, imagine if a kid is born with too much soul, so
Oh.
it spills up out of the body, but rather than just spilling over, instead you grow a second body where the rest of the soul spills into. So
Oh, maybe that's how you seem to always find each other again.
yeah, a lot of the shamans and the mystics would say that Devati being linked together, we always kind of know where the other one is loosely. You can always feel if one is hurt or not, if one or the other is hurt, and fate just kind of brings us back together. We always just kind of attracted back to one another. One soul, two bodies.
Amazing.
You know, it's starting to make a lot more sense.
It's also, normally we don't talk about this too much because it's not considered polite, but also it's just kind of considered village mysticism. But it's also believed and widely practiced that the abundance of soul allows for one of the two twins to ascend into the divine realm. Now, we don't know how true that is. But back home, it's the belief that a lot of the gods that we worship were at one point Devati. One half ascends, the other remains as an earthly tie on the solid world, on the material world, and then that body eventually dies, and the god becomes fully, stuck on the other side. Just kind of looks you back and forth. Yeah, don't know how true that is, but I don't think either of us has really ever contemplated godhood before.
Not really.
This seems like kind of a shoddy deal, if you ask me.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, yeah, as someone who's heavily religious, it's complicated. It kind of has to be.
Yeah, it kind of does, or else it wouldn't be divine, would it?
Exactly.
But yeah. I mean, if it ever were to happen, I'd still be my sister's guardian angel and all that. But, yeah. Anyway, off that topic. I am very sore and very tired, so I think I'm gonna go take a nap.
I think we should all bed down for the evening.
That's a good idea. As Mina drains the rest of her mug, sets it on the counter, and pushes off. Now I got some catching up to do with my sister. She once more hooks her arm around Mitra's neck, and Mitra hooks her arms around her sister's waist as they steady each other. Now a little bit sozzled as they walk off. The crowd parts for them. They say, "See you guys around the ship."
Yep, see you, Range.
And they disappear off behind the crowd.
Two souls, or one soul, two bodies.
Never thought I'd see that.
Well, if that exists, I wonder if the inverse exists. One with two souls, but wait, oh wait,
Two
what
souls,
was
one
it?
body?
Two soul.
Two
For
souls,
them,
one
it's
body.
one soul, two bodies.
Oh.
You're wondering about two souls, one body.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So if the inverse were to be
Not-
true,
anyways.
if it's one overly strong soul and two bodies, for the inverse to be true, you would assume it would be two weak, small souls in one body.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know
Maybe.
What
that's not my
is it-
that's not my realm of thinking, anyways. Just
Is it two souls, one body if you'll get possessed by a ghost, though?
Oh, I
not
think
so
in that
much.
case, it's
Actually,
the
no.
ghost taking control.
That would be a knowledge religion.
Yeah.
Can I roll
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely
let me,
may.
yeah, let me give it. Let me give that a whirl, even though my
With the
knowledge
question just
religion
kind of
is
being
not very
thrown
good.
out into the open, you may absolutely roll that.
I got an 18.
wait, who can roll that?
Anybody with knowledge religion.
Laugh.
I don't even have proficiency in knowledge religion yet. I somehow got an 18.
Ranks in it?
I do not know.
Yeah. In which case, it only comes out to a 10.
Okay, never mind then.
I have proficiencies.
Do you have a rank in it?
Me?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Good.
I was like, you know what? I have proficiencies. Might as well put in a point for that 3-3.
You know what?
I will guidance myself.
Okay.
Damn it!
So a 10, 14, and 18.
I'm just gonna.
When Flick
I'm just
throws...
gonna- Also, I'm just gonna send something in Simple Pass real quick.
As
It's
Flick
something my.
throws that question out there, people stop and actually wonder for a second.
I mean.
Lovely. We love
I mean, I
we
might
love
as well.
intelligence characters.
Am I?
As Flick throws that question out there, the three of you kind of wonder, what would that be like if a ghost possessed a body? Would that be two souls, one body? Siren, like for Flick, it's like maybe, because it comes out to a 10 rather than 19.
Yeah.
You're like, well, maybe, possibly. It is two souls, and it is one body. For Jago, you're uncertain. You're not entirely sure if possession would count. As for Siren, you're fairly certain that really wouldn't qualify, because a ghost attaching itself and taking over a body is typically, as a possession, is not fully anchored, because a ghost can be exorcised. They're not fully connected to the body. They're just kind of haunting it.
Yeah.
A living person's soul cannot be exorcised. Even if they were to be dead, a ghost that then puppets a corpse can still be exorcised. For this to truly count, the soul needs to be part of the body and needs to be intrinsically attached to it. So, but in theory, could it happen that two souls are in one body, whether weak or strong, or if the body's especially strong and can contain two full souls? Well, maybe if Devani can exist, maybe the opposite can. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a whole new realm of magical mad science to explore and exploit.
What happened if two people, if one soul can be split in two bodies? And also ask the other question: how many souls can be? How many bodies can one soul control?
How powerful depends on how powerful the soul is, given the case.
Thanks, voice in my head.
Yeah. Mallory has rolled pretty damn well as well with a 20. Yeah, no, Mallory. It's been documented that even on a couple of occasions where someone has attempted to resurrect a body, or to instill a body with two souls, but almost invariably it results in a breakdown of the body when that has been attempted. At first, it results in a breakdown of the mind as the two souls collide and clash with one another. As a warring identity tears apart the mind, and then afterwards, the sheer amount of soul energy within the body causes the thing to physically deteriorate to dust. may or may not have been attempted by one of the duke's houses.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Oh no.
Of course they did.
Mhm.
There's no way they wouldn't have.
I mean, you know for a fact that each of the duchies, or whatever, each of the duchies, each had their own little attempt at trying to solve their inbreeding problem.
Mm-hmm.
You are the
Yeah.
result of one of those. It's not been
Yeah.
stated yet what the other houses did.
But I know.
No.
In my heart of hearts, I know.
You know that many an atrocity were committed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
So yeah, totally in fitting with the music being played, we're gonna keep the thing upbeat. As a merry little sea shanty is being kind of played throughout the ship, all the while that's going on in the background, Mallory is remembering the exact horrific experiments and things that his distant family were responsible for.
Yeah. I'm gonna relay that in precise detail toward Chaiko too.
Oh boy. Yeah,
Wait,
Chaiko,
what?
you are told in explicit detail how there was one ducal family within the Caspon theocracy before it fell.
Did he?
Hmm?
Sorry.
Oh,
waiting
cat,
for my
yes,
cat.
cat. One of the ducal families attempted to experiment around with souls and bodies, and even succeeded in binding two souls into a body through a ad hoc kind of resurrection ritual. Resulted was a breakdown first of the mind, as two identities and two souls warred with one another and annihilated one another, and then the body crumbled to dust shortly thereafter over the course of a week. A long, excruciating, screaming week.
You know what's really hilarious about that? You know what's actually hilarious about that?
But this is the most that Mallory's ever spoken about his backstory to anyone.
Well, not just that. DM.
So
check
that
your,
is quite striking.
DMs, please.
This is the most
Isn't
that anybody
timing?
has, Mallory has told anybody about his past. Though, to be fair, it's not about his past, it's about one of the other families.
Yeah. But he was a witness to.
Ah, that's hilarious.
I see here.
DD hates me.
No, why?
Because I washed him.
Aw.
Oh, yeah. That would
boy.
do that. That would get that kind of reaction out of a cat.
He's not hissing, he's just running.
But DM, isn't that funny? The timing of my DM.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I guess that ball's rolling somewhat now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then that one last message to you. Okay. Strange. What a very strange conversation today.
All over. It's just at a bar. It's just fine. It's casual conversation. This is just what you talk about when you're with friends.
Anyways, you guys will find out later what me and Mr. Dearest DM are talking about later.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, with how that wraps up, that particular pleasant bit of conversation, the trip continues.
It starts to get to you after a while.
It does.
I'm like bumping in my seat.
Oh,
I don't even hear anything.
It
What
stopped.
music?
Ed, I can't hear anything.
It stopped.
no.
The music was all I could.
The silence.
The music
the
is all I
silence
know.
happening. The silence.
Ah,
Funny you
The
should say that.
silence is killing
sound of
me.
silence.
Yeah.
Silence is killing me. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
and then the DM
Uh-oh.
turns on
I
boss
don't like
music.
numbers. Vort of the Boreal Valley starts playing.
Turks.
Oh.
Awesome.
Now, just to remind you, Chico, my Chico, you did tell me to roll.
Oh yeah, I sure did.
For
Yeah.
the odds?
Checker, you've enabled the DM.
Well, yes, I know. This was the point. This was the plan. It was gonna happen anyways. However,
Mhm.
Wait, what?
don't worry about it. You'll find out. We'll all find out soon.
What
Checker, what
does
have you
that
done?
mean?
Don't worry about it.
No. Let me. 4. Mallory.
Yeah, well, what?
Lovely. No fortuitous.
Oh no. Oh no.
Mallory, are you a light sleeper?
Well, of course,
Wonderful. Perfect. So,
what's happening?
well, I'll tell you. Um,
Chico creeps up to Mallory's bed with a frying pan in her hand.
Mallory
Somehow
opens
this
Ether
is
is already
very-
set in motion.
Gear's already set in motion.
So, Mallory, as you stir in your sleep, it's about a week and a half into the trip. The point you guys have come into the journey is right around when the captain said you would probably be hitting the outskirts of the Mirror Sea. Now, to remind you, the Mirror Sea is the patch of ocean that connects the unexplored, unsettled lands on the coast with the dwarven island of the dwarven isle of Yucatan and the northern part of the Titan Zone. You can see it on the map quite clearly. And it's completely flat. No waves, no motion, no current, no wind.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of sail vessels have a hard time crossing it, and if they get caught in it, have to use other methods to get moving again, lest they drift forever and die of starvation and thirst. Thankfully, with an engine, this is not much of an issue. But still, the ship seems to be coasting at a relatively comfortable clip. Could you roll me a perception?
Oh, wonderful! A perception, my best stat.
Is this fucking what is his name? Beard?
Don't
Something
say
Right,
anything.
Beard?
Don't say
Never.
Don't say it. You never know.
Is
Well,
this
if you insist.
No.
Please, 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 please,
Yes,
please,
yes,
please,
yes,
please,
yes,
please,
yes,
please,
yes.
please, please, please.
Oh,
Please.
35. Very nice. So, as you stand, something about tonight bothers you. It's a cool night on the ocean. But there's something about tonight as you stir awake, you look around the cabin, you see that the others are still fast asleep. Something about this just won't let you get back to sleep. Something bothers you, something is keeping you awake.
I'm gonna get up. Sit up.
You may absolutely get up.
Alright. I'm gonna do as every sleepy, not sleepy, but every person who can't sleep does, and kind of walk over to the table, get myself a glass of water.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You hear something up on the top deck as you do. As you get up, you walk around, you go get something to drink. You hear footfalls, which is
Okay.
weird because you're used to hearing much more at this time of night.
Alright. Seems like this is the time that I go into stealth and then check out what's up
Mhm.
there.
Because normally, even at the dead of
By
night,
yourself?
even at the dead of night, there's still plenty of crew activity, but tonight seems relatively quiet. There is heavy footfalls up on the top deck.
Does it sound like it's just one individual, or does it
One
sound like
heavy
something
individual.
One heavy individual. Was any of the crew particularly heavy?
Oh, there were a couple. There was the captain.
Yes,
mean,
but
I
did it
think
sound
Karya's
like
got
the
a bit of a
captain?
dumpy.
Because
I mean,
come
based on
come
what you know, that you recognize that pair of footfalls.
Oh.
Sounds
Oh,
like
no.
Karya.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, damn! It actually was the clap of his ass cheeks. I recognize them.
The clap of his ass.
Only
cheek.
Siren would recognize him by the clap.
Only Siren would.
Well, all right.
What has she been doing to that man? What has she been doing?
Well then, I'm a little scared to actually. Oh, I accidentally deleted a party token.
Ah. Well, shit, it's gone now. You guys are sunk. Goodbye.
No,
Camping.
please,
Damn it, someone's
please
dead.
bring it out. Please bring it out.
Yeah, my dream. My
Dang.
dream.
We were here,
My
right? Yeah, we
brain.
were here.
Oh, there it is.
Dang, nabbit.
Yeah, I think we were
Damn,
here.
Abbott.
Yeah, here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna. Well, it doesn't sound. Why is only Kari out there? The hell?
Good question.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm just gonna go up, see why Karia's up there.
As you
There's no way that he'd be a hazard to the party, right?
never, as you
Oh, absolutely not.
as you exit the cabin, you make your way to the top deck to see what Kari is getting up to. 1 second. You also notice there seems to be something buzzing at the back. There's something you can't quite place. It's one of those things where it feels like it's on the tip of your tongue or on the tip of your brain. As you ascend the stairway, you see Karya standing at the side of the deck on the starboard side. His hands are on the railing, and he seems to be looking off at something in the distance.
Okay. Gonna walk up to Karia. And
Go to approach, and then you realize what was bugging you. You don't hear the engine.
Oh no, bro.
And then Karya tips forward and splashes into the ocean.
Oh.
Oh,
Over the railing,
all right.
Well, Kari's dead. Shit.
and that's when there is a horrific screech of metal. And something in the backside of the something in the back end of the ship grinds to a halt. Sounds like an explosion going off. And the ship loses all forward momentum and begins to drift.
Hmm.
Alright, yep, okay, going back down and slapping everyone awake.
Yeah.
No, not
It's-
slapping,
it's
shaking.
At that sound, the ship stirs. You hear mumbling, you hear what sounds like clattering, things falling over as the ship jerks. And about half a minute later, as you are going down to go wake the rest, the ship explodes into activity.
Oh, okay, activity.
Ship explodes. Goodbye.
Roll credits.
Roll credits.
What do you mean? What do you mean it explodes?
Right. Okay. Just a moment. Get this one thing down properly. You were all woken by a insistent, perhaps a slightly panicked Mallory.
Wake up!
What? Huh? What?
What's going on?
Mallory's
What the hell's going on?
shaking you awake. Around
What happened?
through the walls of the ship and through the half-open door that Mallory came barging in through, you hear lots of footsteps, you hear what sounds like at first hushed tones and then starts to escalate into shouting. Orders are being given. What do you call it? Doors are flying open in somewhere else in the ship in the crew's quarters as things are being immobilized, and you hear off like somewhere down the hall, possibly coming from the above deck, the sound of a sputtering engine that sounds like it's struggling, perhaps close to dying.
Is everyone in the party here?
Everybody,
Kari just fell overboard.
everybody except for
What?
Kari.
I went to the deck now.
What?
Grab my sickle and start running.
Top deck. Flick is also grabbing his weapons just in case.
Yeah, I'm grabbing. Everything's being grabbed.
Even though this is kind of stupid, but if Mallory does say that Holo Holo's immediately just gonna get up on his things and he's gonna jump into the fucking ocean.
Yeah, Siren's gonna look
everyone,
overboard.
everyone, in case shite starts, I don't know, hitting the rotors or whatever. Actually, wait, would Flick know what the rotor is? Oh, whatever. If shite starts going down, in case shite starts going down, grab your weapons now.
I'm already dressed. He just cocks his gun. You should really invest in some sleeves.
Holo, did you say you jumped into the ocean?
He wants to, yes.
Yeah, I mean the plan is to. Unless do I see something in the water that tells me no, you probably should.
You want to look before you leap?
Yeah, sure, I'll look before I leap. I have dark vision.
I have low light vision.
Remember, kids, look both ways before you dive into the ocean.
Okay, so first of all, I would like a perception from Holo.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm looking over the edge. Can I also
Yes,
perceive?
you can. You may also give me a perception, as we're getting close to where I'm probably going
Guidance.
to cut the session. Right?
Alright,
Yeah.
sure.
I would like to try and assist in making this perception check as Flick hurries over to the edge of the boat to see
all of you
to see if there's in fact a man down in the water.
all of you rush
Yeah,
to the
I'm-
top deck, as you
I
all
want to.
throw yourselves to the banister on the side, trying to see whatever's happening, what's going on. You rush to the top. You look around off the side of Siren in particular. You're looking for Kari or wherever he may have thrown himself overboard. Holo
I know I ain't
in
gonna
his
be much help.
Holo in his part. Oh boy, thanks for the whoa. As Holo, you in particular need to re-roll your perception.
Let me guess, Grim.
Yep, he gave you a whoa.
Go suck a fucking dick, Annie.
Someone's been healed to shreds. You said, yes, exactly, to
Did
shreds.
my
They've got
roll
that
flop?
sinking feel.
Did my roll
He-
flop?
he-
It did not.
It did not. Great. Okay. Cool.
You got a 29 instead of a 30. Great.
Actually, wait 1 second. Okay, yeah, no, never mind. Never mind, I rolled it with that. Anyways, no, we're good.
This is not very woeful.
Mhm.
Grim buys another woe.
He's been saving up. But yes, Holo breaks from the typical crowd by when he gets to the top deck, immediately throwing himself over the side, taking a dive into the ice cold waters, the ice cold mirror still waters on top, as the second splash of the night echoes out through the night air. As you do so, Holo, as you first as you stop and you look over the side, you see, as would anybody else at this point, that over the water a thick fog has rolled in. And as the minutes tick by, that fog only seems to get thicker and rise higher until it starts to wash over the ship. And eventually the whole thing is immersed in fog. Not too long afterwards. Well, the question being, with that in mind, Holo, do you still dive overboard?
Yeah, no, if I can't actually see what's in there, I won't dive over.
Okay.
Can I declare an action? Something I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Since I like to rush towards the engine because sitting is not a good thing to do right now.
I also have
I
something
can't-
I'd like to do. but
I
you
might
go
be able to
first.
fix it. There's an ever so small chance I can fix it. Very small. Astronomically small.
Chaiko can do it. I believe.
I believe
Better
in
than
you.
nothing.
Mhm.
I believe in you.
As those of you who stay above deck, see breaking through the fog, almost seeming to coast through, what you first see is what looks to be an almost crude representation of a dragon's head
Uh-oh.
What?
break through the fog. It's hewn in some form of brassy metal, like the front run on a Viking vessel. It's low
Oh,
to
there's
the
a
water.
ship coming out of the water.
It's low to the water. There's no sails to be seen, but what you do see is a patchy, rusty, spiked over shell that notes it as one of the dwarven turtle vessels. But there's something wrong about it. It moves with the kind of almost grace that such a ship normally wouldn't. It simply coasts through the water and then stops next to yours. You see bits and pieces where wood and metal has cracked, rusted, and peeled and broken away. And you see holes in the bottom of the hull, barely visible through the fog, that should have long sunk the vessel. It should not be floating, it should not be aloft. And all at once the crew starts to panic. And the captain seems to be barely holding himself together as murmurs of ghost ship begin circling. Below deck, Chaiko, you see that the paddles in the engine room, which is now hot and blaring, and you see men going back and forth. Some are there with buckets trying to make sure that the water that is now flooding in does not sink the vessel. One of the men below deck shouts something about how the paddles are jammed and something's stopping them. And whatever it is caused the engines to overload and they need to bring down the amount of pressure and heat. And another man shouts back that they can't do that without completely compromising the system. They'll be adrift for weeks or months. Something has jammed, not just the engines, but the paddles themselves. And as
Trying to open up my eyes.
through one of the bull horns next to the engine house above deck, the captain, some of you will see, speaks into it in a rushed but loud tone, bring back in some form of maritime lingo. But some of the crew catch it, and soon the rumors begin to continue to gain momentum as talks of ghost ship become louder and something supernatural having halted the engine. This is possibly vengeance for some slight or superstition trodden upon by the crew. Still, Arya is nowhere to be seen. In the
To
way,
that point, actually.
just
Oh, go ahead.
one last thing, just over the fog, sounds almost like a howl. Is it wind? Is it a song? Or is it a scream?
Okay.
The slits of Flick's eyes have narrowed, and his ears have folded back.
Okay.
I'd say maybe it's not so bad the 9-year-old isn't here. So,
Our oracle's a heavy sleeper.
Yeah.
good thing. June, you said you were about to ask something?
Yeah. Can I have Siren use her telepathy?
On what?
She. Oh, actually, is this written down somewhere on my sheet? Because I don't know if I have to have like make eye contact with someone to form a connection, or if I just have to think about them, or if I have to see them.
I believe for telepathy to work, you do have to be able to look at something. You mentally communicate with any other creature within 100 feet that has a language.
Damn.
No, they
Oh,
just
you
have to
know
be within.
what?
They just have to be within 100 feet of you.
I was gonna have her do that on Karya, but since he's already overboard, theoretically, she can't look at him. So I'm gonna instead cast message and send a message to Karya.
Don't you?
And the message will be, where?
Oh god, where are you? What's happening?
Basically, oh god, where are you? What's happening? What's going on? Where are you? Are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And then words for the message. It just stops at where are.
For message, you have to be able to point at the creature.
You have to think of them. Or not sending. Sorry, not message. I used the wrong word.
Ah, sending. Okay. Sending. Okay, you can send a sending to Karya. You do not get a response.
Damn it.
And with that, of course, that's the one thing we end the stream with. Fuck off.
An ad?
Odd.
Oh my god.
In the
Okay.
chat. Anyway, yes.
Can I come back up top deck?
You may, as the people on the sailors and many of the passengers on top deck are starting to whip into a panic as rumors of ghost ship are spreading like wildfire and beginning to ignite fear in the people on board. And now, broken through the fog and lined up right next to the steamer, you see a dwarven turtle ship that really shouldn't be able to float. That said, the ghost ship parked up alongside the steamer, the SS SS Anne Marie, with the fog hanging heavy around all of you and a air of tension and dread. Karya still nowhere to be found. That is where I'm going to end the session.
Alrighty. The plot thickens.
Thick bluntons. But yes, thank you very much for playing today. Thank you those who came, those who stayed, and those who didn't. Today, in the start of a particular plot point I have been looking forward to.
Oh boy.
I hope you know.
All these boat trips where nothing has gone wrong. Finally.
Mr. DM, I have one word for you.
What's that?
Fireball.
On the ship.
On the enemy ship.
On the mostly metal
Yes, that's what I
enemy
meant.
ship.
All right, they are metal, aren't they? Okay, another. Okay, you know what? Fine, we can play that game. Lightning bolt.
Cool. The ocean is very conductive.
Yeah, it would disperse most of the energy, wouldn't it?
They could do this all day.
Oh yeah, so can I. Maybe. Let me see my spells again.
Yeah. Wouldn't be too terribly entertaining, I don't think, though. So, or at least not for people on the bylines. So, with that said, thank you guys very much for being here. I look forward to tormenting you next session.
Oh god.
And, yeah, ghost ship time. Wasn't even intended to go. This was supposed to this was going to be a plot point regardless. If things had gone along smoothly, you guys would have run into this months ago. But this still happens. It comes in time for spooky month, and that's just serendipitous.
Booga 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 booga.
Booga booga booga. But yes, I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle us on out now. You guys take care. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and transfer us over.
DM, very dumb question. I know the answer to, but I'm gonna ask anyways.
What's that?
What size of an object would you call the dwarven ship? Surely it's medium, right?
No.
Well,
Not
it's a dwarven
even
ship, so it has to
close.
be dwarven sized. It's a small little boat. Little boot.
Okay, there
Turn,
goes
turn,
great.
turns out this big threatening dwarven or ghostly dwarven ship is actually just the size of a dinghy.
Well, you see, it was a ship made for dwarven clowns.
Oh yeah, you know what? How about this
Pirate
one, Mr. DM?
ghost clowns. Pirate ghost dwarf clowns.
Oh yeah, Mr. DM. How about this one? All right, tech
Mhm.
metal. Uh huh.
Beautiful. Anyway, good night, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Yeah. Grim's. Hey, good evening, good night. Yes, and Grim sending us off with one last self-care. Thank you very much for the woe there at the end. As much as it didn't necessarily hit quite as hard as it might have, the spirit is very much appreciated. Night.